I've hit the button. Is OBS exploding? Doesn't look like it. Can everyone just, like, say the name of their character so I can get some audio levels going left to right? Pesci.
Pashmina.
Zoran.
Zaran the Extravagant.
Excellent. Loka.
Loka!
Alright, and... Hey-san. I definitely didn't blank on your character's name, Eli. I'm sorry.
You will not be forgiven so easily.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
fair.
son.
It is hard sometimes. We have a lot of characters with, like, on at the end of their name. Zaron, Heisan,
Look on.
And a name that no one can
Loka.
pronounce, and therefore we just use a nickname. Alright. So, to start with this session, let's do some traditionals. So it's the next day after your short feast and collective family conversation in the meeting tent in Mirage. You don't have anything particularly pressing, but you have a little bit of time to rest in Mirage for a bit before you decide what you would like to do next. In that, I'm going to go ahead and just, like, recap some loose threads for utility reasons, because I think that might be useful for people to kind of remember what's going on, maybe stuff they might have forgotten, etc. So, Astior has previously fallen unconscious, but is likely to have recovered by today. So he's available to actually talk to about some things that folks said they might have wanted to talk to him about, but haven't gotten the chance yet, like what he was researching while he was up in the mountains. Heisan sounded interested in talking to Astior about necromancy. Peshmina was interested in talking to Astior about scrying and longsight, among other things. Fehu is anticipating a courier from Althra bringing vague news. She anticipates that it's likely regarding a second attempted annexation, and she's noted some interest in, if she gets summoned to Althra, bringing you all with her as kind of her companions and errand runners and overall kind of, not explicitly mercenaries or bodyguards, but that's kind of the implication.
Entourage.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Zoran has fully revealed his secret identity to the party. His secret, prior identity to the squad. After having been a little bit more hidden about that previously. Sibella Tenin is currently still on the hunt for Zoran, and is directing people towards Hav's Wrath at great danger to the people hunting Zoran. Or rather, Prince Erasmus. And in the vaguest sense, the Order of the Last Sunset is up to unknown mischief across the continents and has said to be collaborating with someone, another organization, another entity, hard to say.
Mischief.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the word that I would use.
You all may rise at your own paces, but when you do, I have messages for all of you.
Oh.
So give me a second to copy paste some stuff.
Wow.
Shit.
Wow.
Let's see if this is short enough to send in one Discord message. Hey, sick. Oh, wait, let
Also,
me
I'm
edit
sorry,
that
I
for
will
you,
be-
Eli.
Muting myself off and on because I am still coughing a lot.
Yep, I see it.
I will also be meeting myself on and on. I have a sandwich I ordered like 3 hours ago that I still haven't eaten.
Oh, do I
So,
Do love doing and eat here. This one's for Zoran. This one's for Yoka. Ooh, wait. Did I copy paste the right thing for Caroline? I did.
I like how my knockdown status is I'm just upside down.
Yes, it's very
You
funny.
are just fully upside down.
Like everybody gets to sleep and Loka just gets fucking turned on his head.
Mhm. That's how he sleeps. It's just kind of
Well,
an acrobatic kind of sleep.
Gotta get the water back into my lungs.
All right. For the purpose of the recording, I will be reading out the message I just sent out. It's a little different for everyone, but it's mostly the same. An envelope sealed with blue wax apparates in front of you with a small flurry of blue sparks. In it is a letter as well as another, smaller envelope. Hello, sirs, madams, and individuals of distinguished identity. Carthax's Arcane Couriers has recently expanded our enterprise to include your region and or population. Our mystical courier and delivery abilities are near instantaneous, inexpensive, and completely confidential. Should you choose to enroll in our services, you will be able to send and receive correspondence, letters containing under 100 words, at no additional cost, as well as packages weighing under 1 pound. Reasonable supplementary costs may be added for deliveries exceeding these requirements, and will be confirmed with you before the delivery is made to prevent unexpected expenditures. If you would like to enroll, please simply place 1 copper piece into the envelope provided and sign your name on the front. You currently have 1 parcel to receive pending delivery to you upon confirmation of sign-up, and then it lists the sender of the parcel. The asterisk after instantaneous is taking typically no more than 1 day, dependent on traffic, and frequently much faster.
Oh my god, we literally have USPS in this universe.
Let me know if you should choose to confirm, and you may not if you choose to. I have additional information and messages for all of you.
So I have a question about this. It says to put the name.
Oh, did I forget to replace it for you?
It just says sign your name on the front. It doesn't specify which.
That's true. That's up to you.
Interesting. Alright.
Peshmina wakes up, reads this, and is literally diving for her fucking coin purse.
Heisan wakes up, immediately drops the fucking letter, and casts Identify on it to make sure it's not something... This is not a trap.
The letter is non-magical, but the seal is. There's a little blue wax seal on the letter that appears to... Identify is a little complicated for it because it's not magical anymore. It looks like it has been spent, but you know that it was previously enchanted. It's some kind of... I'm not sure what the school of magic would be, but it's effectively a teleportation spell.
Shit. And I guess I wouldn't know I guess I wouldn't know the origin of it.
Correct. You just know what it is and how it works.
Shit.
I think Loco would wake up to the sound of it popping in front of him and go, "Ah!" and like fall out of the bed.
Excellent.
Peshmina has fully followed the instructions within, like, maybe even, like, a minute flat.
Excellent. I will send more for you. I will
That's
send
-1 copper?
you this. Yep, just 1 copper.
Zoran will also follow to a T, but we'll actually rate their previously given name.
Their proper title.
Yes.
All right.
1 copper removed.
I will send both of you your additional content.
Wait, so how does this work if we've got, the anti-scrying stuff? How do they know where we are?
It's a good question.
God? Hello?
Heisan
Sorry,
will,
also reading.
Heisan will also hesitantly follow the orders and
Absolutely. I can send the. I will speak the universal bit, which is after confirmation. Another letter appears, accompanied by a small parcel containing a small bag of blue wax lumps, a small cup to melt the wax, and a stamp featuring Carthax's Arcane Courier's unique seal. Additionally, it comes with a letter that says, "Thank you for enrolling. To send a letter or object, please simply use the provided wax to stamp and seal your parcel, and it will be delivered to whoever it is addressed to." Eli, you said Hasan accepts?
Yes.
Alright.
I don't know about y'all, but Zoran is penning back a message immediately.
I don't know what to do with this. It feels like a trap, you know?
Mine definitely was not a trap. So I'm also still reading.
Okay, well, while you all send your souls away to the devil, I'm gonna go talk to a dragon.
Notably, and this will be more or less public knowledge since you're all in the same room, Zoran receives a letter, Pejmina receives a letter, Hasan receives a package.
Oh. Mail day, apparently.
Hasan says, "Ah, yes, something from home, I suppose."
Something from, the observatory?
Ah, yes. Just a little. You know those notebooks we have, Pashmina? Just another one. Just another one of those. A replacement, I believe.
Good.
Yes.
You've been taking so many notes since we've gotten out here.
Yes, I'm sure he'll make good use of it. Hasan will pen. We'll pen a message. We'll pen a message in it.
All right.
May I ask who possesses this notebook?
You do not immediately receive a response. You'll hear it when you do.
Got it.
I just, in my brain, I just like the idea that you always know when you've gotten a message through one of these books because you can hear the scratching
Yeah.
on the paper. I just think that's fun. That would make a
just
really
another-
good, text tone. Just like a little, scribbling on parchment. Loka, you're headed to see, I assume, Safi. The only, draconic being we know of in town, right?
No, God, no, Jesus, no.
Rude but fair.
No, yeah, he's gonna go see Feihu.
Yeah, absolutely. She's around. She is still, it's early, so she's kind of in and around her home, but is already on business as it is early in the day. I needed to change the lighting. There we go. Bonk.
Daytime.
Daytime.
Where's Feihu's house? Let me go bother her.
Over here. Are you walking your mini all the way there?
Oh, nope. Oh, he's stuck.
He's trapped in the room. He's trapped. Here.
Can't get out. Can't get out.
Help me!
Okay.
Notably, as you leave, you pass Calandus in one of the communal beds, near one of the communal beds.
Oh. I don't know if Loka really is any interest in Calandus.
Just letting you know that you notice.
Gotcha. I don't know. Oh, here I am. Here I am. And then get out. There we go. Oh my god. All right. That was more work than it needed to be. Yeah, so he's gonna go and talk to Feihu and just kind of be like,
They here?
Yes, what's up? Sleep
I
well?
think we have a problem.
Oh, What kind of problem?
And he's gonna pull out his letter and his anti-scrying card.
Oh. I know I received something this morning. Is that... let me check. And she kind of like pops back into her house and comes out. And she has an unopened letter with the blue seal on it.
Yeah, so if I've got this,
And he waves around the anti-scry card
how the heck did I get this?
and waves around the letter.
That's a good question. She's going to roll. She's going to roll Arcana. Specifically, she's going to kind of like observe and like pick at a little bit of the wax. And we'll see how she does. Yeet.
Come on, Fayhugh.
5.
Fuck.
So that's still a 15. So
Okay.
not bad. But like,
Oof.
if I had to guess, so these and that, and she gestures to your card, the thing preventing you from being scryed upon, and says, my best guess would be that these function independent of the letters. The way the letter is sending functions independent of sight. So the prevention of scrying or scrying or magical sight prevents you from being observed or spied upon, but there are still ways to identify an individual that do not involve observation. For example, you are holding that currently, but if I or Hassan, for example, wanted to cast Sending to you, or use a Sending Stone between us, the spell would still go through because it does not require a complete knowledge of where those individuals are. So, I guess the long and short of it, my guess would be the reason it works is because they don't know where you or we are. It's functionally anonymous, would be my guess. Let me just read the letter. And she cracks it open and reads through it, and it's just like, that seems to be what they're implying, yes.
Okay.
In fact, honestly, the fact that we, those of us with these, received them, implies that their claims of anonymity and security would be more likely than not.
I don't really understand, I'm gonna be really honest with you, but you seem to think that it's safe, relatively. Right?
Relatively speaking, I don't think it's dangerous, and I don't think it's I mean, it may be a scam. I don't know, these reasonable expenditures. I'm not really sure what they mean by that. But I am not worried about it being dangerous.
Okay, so maybe we don't have a problem then.
Oh. Well, that's good to hear.
I don't know, this seemed bad anyways. Okay, I'm gonna go sell my soul to the devil, I guess, so I'll be back.
Oh! Say hi to them for me, I guess. It's like wry smile out of the corner of her mouth.
Within that time, could Hassan have done another ritual cast of
Identify?
yeah.
Absolutely.
This time on the non-spent wax seal.
Yeah, so it is a short-range teleportation spell. It has a complex attachment attached to it. You don't fully understand like how it works, but you know how to use it and what it does. So it deciphers the user's intent as the ritual of melting the wax and placing the seal on whatever letter or envelope you're using actually constitute effectively casting a spell, and part of the component is the user's intention. So, like, writing a name on the package is useful for focusing the user's mind on whoever they're attempting to deliver these to, but isn't wholly necessary. and also explains how it could circumvent most like magical anti-scrying stuff. It like the fact that you all received them in Mirage itself too, a town that is largely protected from magical foresight, kind of implies that it is using the guided personal direction of the user rather than a greater. It's not like something like scrying or observation. But yeah, you know how to use it. You know what it does, and yeah, it's basically the wax itself like adheres whatever object you're sending to the ether so that it can safely transport it from one place to another using effectively like really small short-range teleportation magic. Deeply efficient, it seems like. The fact that it costs so little, it's practically free to send normal things, is like a fascinating level of efficiency.
And I guess I wouldn't have heard of this company before, have I?
No, it sounds
Yeah.
very new.
This is all very sudden and very out of nowhere and slightly worrying in a sense.
Actually, go ahead and roll insight for me.
Okay. Give me one sec. Come on, roll the die. Shit. That's going to be a 7.
7. Okay. So, like, hard to tell what this business is or is doing, or, like, kind of what their situation here is implying. But you can figure out that, like, clearly all of you got this, right? Like, the expansion here is to the Phasia, or at least Mirage, right? And someone received something for you. Have all are on the receiving end of this, so it seems like you all might be, or this region might be, the last people to get this. Like, this may have been expanded shortly, like very recently, but since you all are recipients rather than senders at this point, it would make sense if other places had gotten it before you.
You know, they had to put in all those fiber optic wires to...
Yeah, the infrastructure necessary for arcane teleportation is just a fucking bear.
Yeah.
This ain't your Pony Express.
Like, imagine running cable under sand when there's, like, not even paved roads. Come on.
Loka, I walked him over to the pool, so I think he's gonna go sit over there and then put in a copper and see what
All right.
happens.
We'll send you some things.
Where are you going?
Oh,
Hason's just.
Kashmir,
Hason
you
leaves.
saw Hason, like, after he opened the package and wrote something in the book, just stand up and begin pacing around the room for a pretty long time, just kind of just kind of in thought and looking a little bit nervous, maybe.
Everything all right?
Yes, perhaps. Just apologies, just in thought. Not just a little concerned as to why all 4 of us suddenly got this. I mean, and how on earth one of my family member, how one of, no, not family members, how one of my compatriots up in the mountains managed to get this subscription, and how they managed to send this to me.
Is it not from Toshi?
No, it's from someone else. It's hard to I'm not quite sure who it's from. I believe the sender may have forgotten to write their name.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think Toshi knows where you are, right? Knows that you've been in Mirage for the festival. At least.
Well, yes, I suppose he would then.
So maybe Toshi mentioned it to someone else? It hasn't exactly been a well-kept secret that we're here. Tanya knows that I'm here. Holds up the letter.
Yeah. And then he thinks for a moment. Yes, Toshi must have told someone. Oh dear. And he looks. It kind of dawns on Heisan like he knows exactly who Toshi might have told, and Heisan is suddenly you get a oh I fucked up kind of look from Heisan.
Is everything gonna be okay?
Yes. I'm gonna go for a walk for a little bit if you don't mind.
Oh, okay.
And Heisan just sort of walks out of the room like, I need to be somewhere else right now.
I'm trying to think of what I want to do. I had plans, but now I have other plans now. I'm gonna think of what I want to send back to Tanya, but I'm not gonna have that ready. I'll think about that later. Just kind of glances at Sauron as the only other person left in the room.
Zoran has just been rereading their letter. With just a smile on his face. And just kind of like eventually peeks up, noticing that like the conversation has just stopped. Forgive me, are we heading somewhere now?
Well, everyone else just kind of scattered, so not really.
I see. And I take it everyone else here has also received a letter.
Apparently.
Wonderful. Who did you, get yours from, if you do not mind me asking?
No, I got it from Tanya.
Oh, Lady Tanya. What does she have to say? Is she well?
It sounds like everything's alright, but the Western Circuit's not doing so well.
Ah, very unfortunate.
I'm glad to hear from her, but I am a little bit worried. I guess.
Worried?
She's just kind of like rereading a little bit. They're looking for new audiences in places that I don't know that I would be looking for new audiences there.
Oh? Where are they performing?
She just kind of sighs. She says they're looking at the coalition towns.
Oh. I see. Rather brave. I respect their willingness to try. I'm sure everything will be alright, though.
Pashmina just kind of folds up the letter and puts it away.
Are you going to respond?
Later. I have to think about what to say. I don't really know what to say to her right now.
Understandable. I understand. And that is quite alright. There's... Oh, please. Go on.
I was just say, Pishmina starts to look a little bit awkward, and it's just like, well, I'm gonna get ready and, see if Astior is up.
That's a wonderful idea. I was actually thinking on seeing Feihu myself. I wanted to see if she had received her correspondence yet. I know it should be any day now.
Well, seeing as it's apparently mail day.
My thoughts exactly. So, I suppose I should head down. I'd like to see what my, my father has to say.
Grimaces. Later then.
Of course. Just gives like a partial bow.
Pishmina just kind of gives like a very small nod. She's being not as familiar with you today.
Is it, can I tell like it's just me?
Definitely.
Understandable. I think Zeron takes note of this. And if Pashmina doesn't leave immediately, Zeron would.
Oh, she's getting ready. She's like starting to like brush her hair out and like picking out her outfit for the day.
Gotcha. So Zeron
Still
will
morning.
quietly leave without saying much else and head for Feihu's then.
Absolutely. You may do so. Feihu is, as before, kind of out and about, but sticking pretty close to her house for the time being. Yeah, you find her, I think, just literally pacing outside of her little house.
And Zeron will just kind of see the sight and just smile and just kind of call out. And a very merry morning to you two.
Oh, Zeron. Yes, it is morning. How did you all rest well? Is everything going fine?
I'm just fine. I received a letter today that puts me in actually quite good moods.
Good.
Good spirits. I should
Good.
say.
Yes, I read through mine as well. Or at least what I had of it. I've got I signed up for whatever service it was. I'm sure that'll be fine. Did you receive correspondence on top of that?
I did, actually. I had received a letter from a very, very dear friend back in Othra.
Oh. Good to hear from folks you haven't connected with for a while.
Of course. I actually had come to see you. I knew around today was the time you were expecting correspondence from the Royal House.
We'll see how that goes. And you actually see an individual coming in on the road. It's the main thoroughfare through Althra, and it's an individual dressed in Hawkguard garb. Though not one of the two Hawkguards that are regularly posted in Mirage.
Mm-hmm. Zeron will kind of like take note of this, and they're gonna kind of dip around the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
Real quick.
So, this courier kind of comes up. They do not have the typical, like, weaponry or more, like, typical armor. They're dressed in more of a like formals almost. It is certainly a uniform, but it's not a militant one. And they walk up to Feihu and they begin having a quiet conversation. Would you like to overhear them?
If I can, I'm kind of hiding from them.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
Stealth.
Dice
okay.
rolls.
Yeah. Give me a second. I have to reopen my dice roller. Stealth.
Mm-hmm.
Not very great. That's a 12.
Oh, all right. There's an 11.
Whoo!
So you will remain hidden for the present. So the courier walks up to Feihu and says, my deepest greetings. Our most formal matron of Mirage. We would extend a conversation this evening. I have some things that we would like to discuss as an emissary of the Thronian royal family. And Feihu, actively stifles a sigh, and puts on a smile. Of course, if I might invite you to the local tavern so that we might speak freely, or if you would prefer somewhere more discreet, we can attend the meeting tent. Do you have any information that wouldn't be spoken in public? And she kind of gives him a look, and he just kind of smirks and he goes, "Oh, the tavern will be fine. It'll be just a casual conversation. Shouldn't last too long, I think." And she goes, "All right, very well." And they head out towards the Misty Vale Inn.
Okay.
Do you want to follow them?
Zeron is going to follow them, but they are going to disguise self.
All right.
And just kind of appear as just a townsfolk from Mirage.
Yeah, for sure.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Loka's not far, at least on the map, from where that conversation took place. Is it possible that he heard it, or no?
Roll perception for me.
Sure.
Let's let the dice decide.
Wow. This die specifically has been hot for like 3 weeks. That is a 24.
Yeah. You not only do you hear that the conversation happens, you hear the whole conversation.
Ah,
Oh shit.
Fuck at that. I think you just see Zeron transform as well.
Probably.
Fuck.
Yeah, I think Loka is just gonna head over that way then.
Yeah, sure.
After they're gonna step inside and then he'll run over there.
The tavern is not full, but has a number of merchants and waygoers in it. So it's you can tell that this is kind of a tuned location for Feihu, insofar as this is a public place, so as to prevent any kind of particular outbreak. She's being very careful to make sure that she doesn't lose sight of anyone. She's doing some pretty careful maneuvering, but also the general conversation of this environment means that it's easier to speak and go unheard.
It's so hard to move right now.
Where are you?
I'm on the second floor. But my thing's freaking out where I have the box of death again, so I can just see underneath as well.
Oh, weird.
Oh god.
Here, I can move you down to the app room. Even though there are...
I'm actually just gonna watch your stream for this because it's so hard to see for me.
Can I...
You should be able to do the polymorph.
I was about to say, if we can find someone that you would be interested in polymorphing into.
It's so hard to see my screen. It can just be any NPC, yeah. It just looks like someone that just is from the town. Yeah, just a lantern. I become a lantern.
Prop hunt.
Right. He's kind of furball looking nomad.
Where's
I'm
Waldo?
fine with it.
Waldo is inside of the Lancer.
All right. So Feihu and this diplomat begin talking. They have a non-zero amount of conversation. I would like perception checks again. Also, I'm going to roll a couple things.
Uh-oh.
Not terrible.
I got a 9.
Oof.
I got a 14.
9 and a 14? Okay. So,
I don't think I have anything that can add to it, so...
Tala and Lafa get them both drinks. They're having coffee. As well as a couple of biscuits from the nearby market, as the two are wont to do. And they have some short conversations. You catch snippets. What were your perceptions again?
9.
9?
14.
9 and 14. Right. So, you start to get the broad strokes. Some of it gets drowned out by other people having conversations in the meantime. But you get that Feihu's being summoned to Althra, as suspected. She puts up some token resistance insofar as she's like, to the courier's just like, we really need you to come down to the court so we can have a proper conversation about what the future of the Oasis towns in Aphasia look like when it comes to international and intranational trade. I understand that you all have some very solid resources here, some forming, and we just want to make sure that that's all protected in a way that clearly your existing resources wouldn't be able to supply otherwise. And Feihu's very much just like, well, if we all know that that's not true. We don't have any kind of reasonable production other than our location as far as trade and tactics go. Just calling a power grab what it is very directly. They never argue relevantly, the two of them. They are always just making points back and forth. Feihu effectively gets informed that she needs to come to Althra to speak before the formal court, effectively to explain why Althra would, or why Mirage would be better served under her leadership rather than the leadership of a Thronian noble. And if she can't, they are going to take that as an admission of insecurity and start to make movements to probably embargo the town, try and cut it off from the extant trade routes to starve it. Not directly, not militarily, just economically. But yeah, it's like about as hostile as you can get without actively threatening physical violence. Feihu stays pretty calm and collected through that and just goes, fine, we'll make it work. I'll be there as soon as I am able. And the diplomat effectively goes, all right, then we hope to see you there within the month. All right? Feihu goes, fine, and they both finish their coffee, and the diplomat leaves.
Once the diplomat leaves, Zaran in their disguised form is going to go to Feihu's table and sit down with them.
Feihu looks lost in thought for a minute. And then looks up and is just like, oh, what can I do for you, traveler? I hope your stay here has been...
It's Zaran.
Oh, alright. Thank you. God,
So,
I wish
I see.
Tiamat was just here. If I could just fucking... Okay.
Well, I would say 100 apologies for my family's behalf.
Oh, clearly you're not part of the decision making, so I'm not too worried about it with you.
I was familiar that this is something my father has been planning. I did not expect it to be so, well, one-sided.
We'll see. I'm curious who this is really coming from. Because I've met with your father, if very briefly, and he didn't seem particularly keen subjugating the Oasis towns. That seemed to, like... It's legislation. It's not something that I think he was putting forward. It was just something he was tolerating.
Which is why I'm concerned. As much as I hate this, I would like to accompany you to Althra for this meeting.
You sure? You don't have to.
I know, but I have suspicions that there are things happening, maybe with the Monterists, than, well, my family, that are being a little more underhanded. This is not my father's usual modus operandi. I can tell you that for free. Which is why it's more sheer curiosity on, well, how adamant they are being now.
I couldn't deny that your insight would be invaluable. Obviously don't do anything you're not comfortable with or you're not safe doing.
Of course.
But thank you. Thank you for your support, and I hope only I bear no ill will toward the family, toward Althra. I just want to keep little town, keep everyone in it safe.
It is of no trouble. I take no offense.
All right.
I am not a prince here. I am just yet another traveler.
My job's to keep travelers safe here. So, I think I'm gonna stay here for a while. Fuck. All right.
Of course.
Hey, Tala.
Shall I leave you be?
Tala, can you tell your boss it's fine and go get me a shot? Thanks. Tala scurries
10
off.
a.m. yet.
It's never too early when you're stressed. It's never too early when you're a stressed dragon.
Mm-hmm. I shall leave you be then. If you require my assistance for any of the matters, you know where to find me.
Of course. Yeah, and she just leans back, runs a hand through her feathers. Look, you overhear all of this.
Yeah. He has
I
not
like to
really
imagine
made
you're
his-
blending in with a plant.
Oh.
If
I was
that,
gonna say
I
if you
like
want.
that.
A conveniently shaped plant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a plant over
Camouflage.
here, isn't it? Yeah, here we go.
Just
put him,
in a plant.
Just put him over here. He's hiding.
Perfect.
Like a adorable.
Caroline, I just want you to know that I sent you a private message.
Oh, I just totally didn't see this. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. You've been busy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah.
I will let you choose whatever you think is more interesting.
Hysterical. Okay.
I like both of them, but I think that should be up to you.
All right.
Which now has me super afraid, but I like this a lot.
That's really good.
Oh no!
Okay.
I think after
Don't
a
worry
minute,
about it.
Tala comes back with her drink, and Fehu continues writing, or continues sitting and sipping a little bit, and then she pulls out some paper and begins writing a letter. Do as you will.
Pashmina wants to talk to Calandus, if that can happen.
For sure. Calandus is out in the commons, sitting at the edge of one of the beds and writing in a journal.
Calandus?
Yeah?
God, I forgot that that's what Calandus sounds like. Oh boy. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm alright. We're doing alright.
I assume Astior is in one of these rooms.
Yeah, he's at the end of the hall. I think he's up this morning.
Have either of you eaten breakfast?
No, not yet.
Want to come with me to the markets?
Yeah, that sounds good. It's fucking hot here. Holy shit.
We did come from the tippy top of...
All of my clothes have like 4 layers. He's just in, at this point, he's literally just in like undershirt and like trousers rolled all the way, like as far up his thigh as he can get them.
Yeah, sorry. You weren't exactly given a chance to acclimate.
No, that's it's fine though. We'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Here, let me get Astior.
Oh, is he fit to?
I think we had a little bit of it. He was up and about just a little while last night. Hey, Astior! Clunk, 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 clunk. Yeah. Oh God, what did Astior sound like? I don't remember. Oh wait, it was the Skeksis. It was the Yes. Calandus, how are you doing? Oh, we're doing all right. God, I hate playing 2 NPCs. Hey, Pashmina was over here, and she was just wondering if you wanted to have breakfast with me and also her. Yes, sustenance, and he runs past both of you on the way down to the. He's like, no, wait, it's to the market. And then Calandus rushes after him.
All right.
Astior pops out and like stops right at the top of the stairs and turns around and is like, yes, Pashmina. I hope you are doing well. Thank you for the invitation. How are you doing?
Fine. Just kind of like looking between the two, just like, what have I gotten myself into? I just wanted to make sure you are all right, all things considered.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm just I won't be able to do magic for like a week. It'll be fine. It's not the first time I've burned myself out. It should probably be the last.
Yes, please don't repeat that. That was scary.
I do not intend to. That's a whole lot of ether to run through a corporeal body for any amount of time. All right. Breakfast. Calandus, you're buying, right?
Oh, I thought as kind of an apology for, forcing you to strain yourself, I could treat us all to some breakfast.
Oh, even better. Excellent. He's still wearing his full robes and seems completely unbothered by the temperature.
Impressive.
All right, onward. And he slows down a little bit.
Is there a way I can just fucking apparate out of here, or do I have
shift
to
click? So shift and then click again. Wherever you want to put them. Plunk.
Away, outside. There we go. Boop.
Yeah, they hang out with you in the market. Let's put them around a table.
Yeah.
Come on, Calandus.
There we go.
You get some breakfast. There are fresh eggs. And it's just like overall a pleasant atmosphere. It's early morning in the market, so things are still a little cool before things start to really heat up in the middle of the day. So fairly populated, lots of business going around. Things are still pretty cheap. Bakery goods are fresh. It's a good time.
Yes.
And Astior like eats ravenously.
Oh boy.
He doesn't put a lot of that on unit. The things he eats a lot of are inexpensive. If you would like to pay out of pocket for it, I think it'll end up being like a silver for the three of you.
Oh yeah, sure.
I just like the idea that fresh food in general in this universe is largely inexpensive. You can still make a decent living off of it. Anyway.
It's gotta get.
Yeah, so Astior eats, Calandus eats a lot more, not like timidly, but just slow, more reservedly, but like, kind of every once in a while looks over at Astior to make sure he's still eating and doing well and refills water and stuff like that.
So, apologies about the tower again. I'm sure that was,
Yes. It'll be fine.
I sure hope so.
Well, they can't take away what's in here, right? And he points to his noggin.
Right. Speaking of, I'm sure the others will have, questions about certain things. I guess what you were doing there. That kind of stuff goes over my head. I was told that you have an interest in, I guess I'll be blunt, cults?
Ooh, yes! Oh, is that what that was? I thought it was some kind of rival wizard or something.
No, very much not.
Oh. Oh, not a rival wizard or not a cult?
Not a rival wizard.
Ah, okay. More interesting then. Interesting. Okay, cool. What, so we stayed in the tower for most of the time. Could you actually just, like, do you give me a quick recap, if you could? That'd be great.
Oh, right. Okay. So we dealt with the mimeoplasms. We managed to lure one back into the machine, which we believe was sabotaged, not broken. We think it was done on purpose.
I could have sworn my equations were sound, but I suppose it was a bit volatile.
So we managed to get it working again, and had the one large dragon-esque mimeoplasm form. I don't know if that was intentional, but that is what happened.
No, I think it was an observed behavior in some early experiments, but I never really explored it once it worked. Ah! My cranberries! I just dropped some things, don't worry about it.
Packed with antioxidants.
Packed with antioxidants.
Keeps my brain healthy.
Next necessary for a balanced breakfast. Sorry, anyway.
Also good for urinary tract infections.
Yes, odd, but interesting.
But aside from that, we realized quickly that there were others in the tower. And those others were members of, sorry, this gets a little hard to talk about because it actually gets rather personal.
Oh. Is it your cult?
Pashmina makes a face. A very non-appreciative and a little bit hurt face.
No. I mean, like, and you know what? Never mind. I'm glad you're okay. Genuinely, all of you. I'm glad you're okay.
So, I'll tell you a bit about them. Actually, do you... She pulls out the meteor hammer. Recognize this symbol? Like, points to it.
It is reminiscent of a pair of organizations I was aware of in the past. I read about them in a book and did a little bit of peripheral study regarding them, actually.
I don't know if I still have the pages or not. I think I gave them to Hasan. Shoot.
I do think you finally gave them to Hasan.
I think so.
But you transcribed everything.
I had Hasan transcribe them so that they would be sent to the observatory.
Gotcha.
I think Hasan... Pashmina asked Hasan to make another copy of them for her.
Oh.
I don't know if you ever got them from him, though.
Do I remember the details of the book, like the author and the,
Yeah. You do. I don't. I'm gonna go quick look it up.
Okay, I also don't have a full memory of the contents of it. I have a vague memory of the contents.
Yeah. So it is a torn excerpt from a book on minor religious groups in Rackentha. Research assembled by Nazora Aprixi, which I wrote specifically to be unpronounceable. But yeah, it's just a little it's an excerpt from a larger research document, more than like novelization, right? Regarding this a pair of organizations that existed before what you know to be the Order of the Last Sunset. You never confirmed that they were linked, but you know that the symbols are very similar.
Gotcha. You... Excuse me. Hold on. Ouch. You say you read a book. Is that all you know?
No, I did a little bit of peripheral study. So, I actually I didn't interview. I stumbled across a number of documents regarding people who had been interviewed regarding their beliefs across a wide variety of religious groups, particularly people looking to cross-reference worshippers of... There was a theory going on in kind of the religious studies group that maybe... like Tiamat and Bahamut followers were very, sorry, he would say Tiaman and Bahamun, because that's what they're called in this region. Would followers, or would he? It's academic. I'm not gonna worry about it. Have most, while frequently in conflict conceptually, have very similar. Ideological beliefs. So, there was an interview of those who left such religious groups for one reason or another, and that actually caught a number of individuals who were leaving the orders of Sunset and Sunrise, the order of the cycle as a whole. And over time, there was an interesting phenomena where the distinction between the two sects became non-existent insofar as one of the organizations ceased to exist, and the other appeared to persist but change. I don't believe if they named themselves officially, in my conception, though it sounds like you may have made that connection yourself, but sometime after the two sects of the Order of the Cycle split, one disappeared. They were no longer... There were no current followers, only past followers, and the other continued to exist, though dwindled. So if you're saying this group is connected, I would posit that those groups that segmented eventually became this order, and possibly He kind of waves his hands a little bit. Eliminated, or perhaps, consumed, or adopted the other group, mayhaps.
That I couldn't say. This much I do know. There is an order that still exists, and they call themselves the Order of the Last Sunset.
You know, I think I may have heard of them anecdotally. Although it was through the lens of, not religious groups, but survivalist groups.
That is fairly accurate to how they operate. We don't necessarily learn much about things like religion or ideology. The things we were taught were how to survive.
Curious. What kind of survival? If I may ask. Only what you're comfortable with, of course.
I mean, there's a good deal of emphasis on combat, mostly hand-to-hand martial combat. We learn quite a lot about nature and medicine.
Was there any sense of what you were preparing for?
She kind of, like, she's thinking back. She's thinking pretty hard. It feels, unfortunately, the teachings were always mostly vague. But there was this sense of preparing for the worst, to put it bluntly.
Interesting. I wonder, the cyclical orders existed before the Deafening War. I wonder if something there changed some of the individuals involved and thus manipulated their ideologies.
That kind of falls in line with something I was thinking, since it just seems to line up. Something about the wars and the fracture of these. And
I wouldn't be surprised if the while I wasn't around for it for sure. I've studied pieces of it. The war was an immense. It had immense impact on everyone involved. For one to live through it and then think they might need to be prepared for another cataclysmic event would, I could see the logic in such a concept. Though misguided, we can never prepare. The world is chaos. Nothing means anything. There's no way to prepare for anything on the scale of
Peshmina grimaces again. lots of cringing this morning. So that kind of brings me to my next concern. I think in their in that kind of misguided belief, they are also trying to create a self-fulfilling prophecy. I think they're trying to usher something terrible to happen.
Not unheard of among cults. There's a concept in the sort of pseudo-addictive ideology of cults known as forcing the end. That if their prophecies don't come true, they'll make them come true. Do you think there was a prophecy that, well, I suppose, from recalling that reading, there were some visions had by members of The order, but of the order that disappeared. Curious. If we are to connect these two, and I have reason to believe, given this conversation, that we should. Not just a prophecy for an opposing group that was misinterpreted, reinterpreted, being used again for different purposes?
Pashmina just kind of shrugs. This is where things go well over my head.
Also made complicated by the fact that not all visions are simply misguided dreams. Some people truly have the gift of foresight. What? To tell the difference between mere dream and true prophecy is monumentous task.
How does one tell? Is it possible?
It is, though I've only really heard of such training through focused groups. People known to be soothsayers and mystics, particularly those attuned to either the study of chronomancy or fortune telling, really. But it's not more complicated than that. Prediction. Farsight. I know of. There's some practice among the merfolk of soothsaying and fortune telling that is not a cultural practice, but an arcane one. Though I know that theirs is a more personal focus. It is complicated, not the kind of all prediction, all visions. Typically, when one of us mortals receives one, it is from somewhere. And frequently more important than what it says is who it came from.
Right.
See, if I gave you a vision of a bounty, a great feast, you may think of something like that. Maybe if I were some kind of celestial entity, but if, say, a fennec fox were to project a similar vision into your mind, somewhat different meanings. The connotations are skewed.
I would assume the Fennec Fox is just very hungry and was just
Exactly! Precisely! See, you'd be a great fortune teller. Were that individual's vision truly from the gods? Any particular gods? Clerics have an incredible amount of foresight because they frequently have certainty with to whom they're communicating. I know individuals of the Pact sometimes have similar relationships with their arcane patrons, but in any case, it can truly be a kerfuffle to try and decipher what some sort of, especially those non-initiated with the art itself.
Forces.
Exactly.
Pashmina looks like she's got a fucking hamster wheel running at like 100 miles per hour in her fucking head. Like, oh god. Okay.
Ooh, those biscuits have cheddar in them?
Oh, sorry. I wasn't quite finish telling you all the details of what happened. Did you know that there was a dragon egg beneath the tower?
No. We hadn't figured out how to get beneath the tower yet. We'd mostly been focused on the materials north of on the upper floors, as well as getting that the scrying pool operational again. That's a very interesting piece of equipment.
Pashmina just kind of looks at her plate as he says that and tries not to give anything away.
He knows.
That is okay.
Aeson told him.
Okay, I couldn't remember. That was what they were after.
Not the boundless knowledge. Just some old fossil. Weird.
Well, it's. Pashmina starts to talk more quietly. It's not a fossil.
No. You're sure?
As far as it was warm to the touch.
Must have been down there for ages. How long can a... You know, I don't know much about all that. Huh. Make a very large omelet.
That's... Don't talk like that.
No, I'm sorry, just... I'm hungry. I apologize.
Also, I am telling you in the strictest confidence.
Oh, of course, of course. I'll forget about it tomorrow. You said they were after an egg. Quietly. not that quietly. There's bustle, you know. It just starts screaming like, an egg! That is curious. Any idea why? Well, I suppose control it if you could hatch it and train it. I suppose that'd be quite a boon. Very very powerful. Those things, big lizards. He's actively trying to
not say dragon.
No, give me he's got disadvantage. All right.
Damn it.
Yeah, that's more like it. You can pretty easily tell that he's really trying not to betray the fact that he knows that Feihu's a dragon.
Oh, don't worry. Our party knows about all that.
About all what? I don't know the foggiest of what you might be implying.
We know about Feihu and Zerga.
Ow!
But you're right to keep it quiet.
Oh shit!
No, don't.
No, not about you. I just realized we hadn't time to. I had a chest of materials prepared for Zerga's project that I was going to send back with you, but that's. I'm sure we'll be able to retrieve it.
So here's the thing. The teleportation circle is no more.
Ooh.
It's gone.
Ooh. Ooh. All right. One-way trip then. All right.
Yeah, there was a bit of panic at the thought that the cult might follow us through.
See. Well, they got up to the tower. I suppose I can follow the logic. A shame, though. Those take quite a bit of time to reset. Well, that does mean we could still get there. I wonder how difficult it would be to prepare a temporary circle. We might be able to return, but there's no way to tell if they're still in the tower, so would be dangerous.
I personally would not recommend going back for quite some time.
Sometime.
Maybe not even until we know that this order's no more.
Divination! That's the word I was looking for. Sorry, what did you say?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
So that was all of my questions for you.
Eat!
Thanks for your insight, I suppose.
Of course. I suppose we'll be here. I quite enjoy this market, and I could use some less sweaty clothes. So, I might do some perusing.
I recommend it.
Hey, Calandus, let's get you something nice too. You look so hot. Let's get you something, I don't know, like, there's so many clothes. Let's just maybe do some window shopping. Okay.
Pashmina. Off in the distance, I guess, if you would.
If you want to set something up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see Hasan just sort of sitting on a sand dune with what looks like a cigarette in his mouth.
What? Alright. I think that's unusual enough behavior to warrant a long look, and then just kind of looks back at Calandus and Astior and is like, well, breakfast was nice. Thanks for all the info. I hope you'll have a nice shopping day. I'm gonna go.
Oh, okay, thanks. It's been
Yeah, no
nice.
Yeah. Pashmina is going to leave.
Excellent.
And
You do so.
Head to wherever the fuck Hasan is. Where even are you, Hasan?
Hasan's kind of been wandering around town, so Hasan is just kind of sitting a little bit out in the outskirts, just in the sand, kind of looking into the middle distance. Oh, wait, right. Shit, I should actually find his mini. Where is his mini? I'll just put him somewhere. Sorry.
If you click on your picture, you can, yeah.
Not on top of the building. He's just somewhere out near the shade of a tree. Right over here.
Alright, cool. Yeah, and Pashmina's just gonna... I like to think that she just jumps off of tall places
Yeah, for sure.
now because she knows that she can.
Mhm.
Like an anime character.
Acrobatic as fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she's gonna start making her way over to Hasan. Actually, I can turn this torch off. This is annoying. Yeah. Let me move.
Running across the hot sand.
Yeah, hot.
You will see that Hasan has approximately 100 golds worth of little boxes of Rackentha bark. I think that's what we call our fantasy tobacco.
Correct.
Of little Rackentha bark rolls.
Is Hasan a chain smoker? Hey, yo!
Wasn't before, is now. Character development, baby.
Just like runs up and is like, is everything okay?
Oh, hello, Pashmina. You wouldn't happen to have a mattress, would you? I'm told these calm the nerves of some people.
As it turns out, I do have a tinder box, but I've never known you to, smoke before.
Oh, I don't. This would be my first time.
Well, I'm not okay. Pashmina, like, I'm not going to start you down this road of habits. What's going on?
I forgot the matches and I forgot about my pendant.
Pendant?
I will admit to you, Pashmina, you know those little pendants we wear that conveniently block all prying eyes?
You don't mean the cards that were given to us?
Precisely. Precisely
Oh.
the cards.
Well,
Well, you see, I promised you. Okay, first you have to promise me you will tell absolutely no one about what I'm about to tell you.
Pashmina, does the little, like, zipped lip, hand signal.
So back
Crosses
home,
her heart.
My colleagues have ways of, well, being those prying eyes. And I figured the moment we had figured out we had found the entrance to the Deep Archive, that some of them, historiophiles themselves, may have, including my brother, may have some would be very interested in what we found. But of course, they couldn't possibly see us with that card around on me. So, I took it off and messaged them to watch.
Oh.
Thing is, I didn't quite expect things to get as terrible as they may have gone. I had not realized by the time we got back that I did not put my pendant back on until after we had left the Horde. Thayhu's Horde.
Hey, son. Oh, no, hey, son.
In my haste, in the danger of everything, I hadn't even thought of it, and it slipped the mind.
Oh, well.
You remember the package I got this morning?
Yeah?
It was confidential for a reason. Apparently, I am told my correspondences with my brother may no longer be so private.
Oh, no.
And that my discoveries have been quote-unquote logged.
Oh, no. Okay, well, I mean...
And I don't know what my discoveries quite entail or what they know. Husan his hands are like shaking, like he still has a cigarette in his mouth, and he just...
Pashmina's just gonna kind of gently take it away and pocket it. Now, we listen, do they even do anything with this information? I mean, like, you know better than me. What would they even, like, what are the real ramifications of them knowing this?
Oh, yes. Well, as far as the archive I know, nothing. It would be... Yes, it would be... most likely recorded, my visions. I'm guessing the memory of the observer would be recorded, transcribed, and filed properly. But what worries me is that they are planning to do something. I am told that that people are planning on quote-unquote making decisions for me in the future.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
No, it does not. And I don't know what they'll ask of me, and things have been changing at the archive recently. Old taboos tossed aside, a rather reconstruction of our old lack of, I don't want to say interventionism, but rather our hands-off approach to things.
Meaning you think they would intend to intervene?
Not so intervene, but get their fingers in things that we wouldn't get our fingers in before. I don't know what this means. This could mean anything from active spy, using me as a set of eyes to actively spy on people, or to, God forbid, obtain texts through less than savory means. And given Feihu's massive trove, I do not particularly look forward to what they may be asking if they know of the eggs. I simply don't know.
You have the pendant now, don't you? Or rather, the card, the pendant.
Yes, I do. I have since put that back on.
Hey, San, I think unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to tell Feihu.
Son just shudders.
Listen.
That was his biggest fear.
Yeah. Knowing this now, I would feel really, really bad if something happens to her.
Yes, indeed.
I want to support you. I do. I want to. I don't want anything to happen to you either. She's put a lot of trust in us. And so far, we have not proven to be that trustworthy.
I suppose not.
If you want me there with you, if you want, help, I'm here. But we can't just not tell her.
I suppose you're right, but when? The annexation, oh gods, I don't.
How did Feihu look when we passed through the common area of the inn?
Determined. She was writing a note rather vigorously, a letter rather vigorously.
And I don't know the details of when she's being summoned, do I?
Correct.
Okay. Unfortunately, I think it needs to be sooner rather than later. She needs to be able to protect herself, and she's already under a lot of duress. Well, and not just herself. I mean, she's protecting, babies.
Yes, she is. Hey, Son will pull out his notebook, the anonymous one, and just simply write after under his previous message, "I need to know what they saw." And leave it like that.
All right.
Perhaps tonight then?
If you want to. If you feel like... Yeah, that's probably for the best.
I would appreciate that, and if you were there too.
If you want me.
I would appreciate it, thank you.
Hmm.
I apologize for the trouble.
No, if anything, Ashmina looks kind of down at the sand. I still I still feel a bit guilty for everything that happened yesterday.
Oh, dear gods, I haven't even asked. I suppose forgive me, I know you're still most likely reeling from everything. Are you?
I guess. Oh, I mean...
Are you alright?
Pashmina's expression changes a lot very rapidly. She finally just kind of shrugs. I'm doing better. It's a lot. I wish it just hadn't spilled out onto all of you.
Well, there's no reversing it now. And I'm sure we'll live. I hope.
Yeah. I'm imagining just this gloomy aura around the two of us. This is like a bubble of dread.
Isan, you hear scratches in your new notebook.
Oh shit.
Hey, Son looks in his notebook and says, "Oh, thank fucking gods!"
Whoa, hey, son.
No horde. They did not see Feihu's horde. Oh. They did not see They did not see Feihu's horde.
Oh, well, good. I mean, we should still tell Feihu about what you just told me, but, good.
Good, yes. At least I'm suddenly feeling much better now. Son, kind of staggeredly, staggers to his feet. He still looks like he just came off of a giant amount of adrenaline.
I know you're not as touchy-feely, but would you like a hug anyways?
Oh, I would appreciate that right now, thank you.
Big hug.
Oh, yes, this is so odd.
Well, in for a penny, in for a pound?
Yes. What should I do with these cigarettes?
Not smoke them, probably. I hear
Ugh.
that's bad for you.
Yes. Whatever, I'll just leave them. They'll disappear in 2 hours anyway.
Oh, what?
Oh yes, a bit of magic by my part. I can fabricate things into being using certain bits of magic. I've never tried consuming any of them or trying food before. The foods never nourished me, but I figured that maybe if I started smoking this, then I would get all the taste and none of the after effects. Silly.
Wait, so you've never smoked before, but you tried to create cigarettes from your mind?
Oh yes, I mean, just because I don't know, never smoked doesn't mean I can't try. I mean, I've read about them. I've seen people smoke them. My brother had this terrible habit for a year or so. It was terrible rift for a few days, but I attempted to. I suppose we'll never know if they were actually effective or anything.
Yeah, better not. That's. Anyways.
Anyways. I suppose I interrupted anything you were doing. Was there anything you were planning on doing today?
Oh, well, I spoke to Astior for a while. He had a lot of. A decent amount of insight about the, order.
I know this is personal, but would you actually, as we walk, would you mind filling me in on this? I'm actually a bit curious. Pulls out his notebook. Looks like he's starting to feel a bit better.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Thank you. A little note-taking to get off the mind. Get me things off the mind. And Nason will just start sort of
walking. I almost wish there was like a follow feature, like I could just right-click you and just follow your model.
Yeah.
Like that would be nice.
Like an MMO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose Hassan's just gonna sort of walk off in a direction and try to start walking off the panic as he takes notes.
So what do you want to know?
Anything and everything. And mostly this is just me wanting to know what Pashmina was told by Astior.
Okay,
Long
then
and short.
She will absolutely give you the rundown.
Yeah. And that was more than all I had in mind for that scene. My apologies.
No, it's good. Hey, son desperately tries to take up smoking. So everyone's imbibing today. Oh, it's one of those days.
Yeah. Zoran and Loka, what are you two up to?
I like that.
Go ahead.
If I sort of have something, but not really. I guess Zoran's just gonna kind of like find a quiet area to himself and just kind of start going through the dragon books that he picked up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So nothing too like specific.
Yeah. The as before, it's a series of genealogies. You have a little bit more time to sit with them now. Yeah, it is this history of effectively clan houses. And you start to get into some more of the annotations, kind of reading between the lines of what's present. And you start to get filled in on a little bit more on, like, clan rivalries, house rivalries between, like, House Red and House Green, and, like, the kind of tensions that exist between these great dragon families. Because of continuing to study the books. If it comes up in future, you will receive additional facts about dragon drama where it will be necessary.
Perfect. Love it. Love it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Loco, what are you up to?
So, after the meeting with the courier, as far as I understood it, Feihu stayed at the table to drink.
Correct.
And Loka, wordlessly, after Zoran left, would have gone and sat next to Feihu. And gone over his letter and written a letter. And then, however much correspondence goes in that time that she's there. But I assume watching Loka write in Aquin is a lot like watching a 5-year-old plop down at a seat and start coloring with crayons.
Crayoning.
So,
Aquin is a really weird language to write, for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, imagine, I feel like, honestly, it's probably largely chiseled or carved as a language, since you can't, like, do parchment underwater so much, and much less, like, writing on parchment. So trying to translate that to, like, a charcoal pencil or an ink quill, for example, is certainly a challenge.
Make it like a wedge, just like...
I think Feihu does a bit of writing, and then at some point is just deeply fascinated by this task that you have set yourself to.
I don't know if she says anything. I'm just writing.
I was about to say, I don't know if she says anything either. I think she's just watching.
But I mean, that does mean if she knows Aquin that she can read over what I'm writing. That's of any import. So,
given that she is a coastal dragon, I think she definitely knows primordial. She might know some subsets of Aquin.
Well, and that's the question. Has she ever seen Aquin written? Because it is not oft a...
Yeah, I would say probably not. I don't think... she probably hasn't... I bet she can speak Aquin. I don't think she can read Aquin.
That makes sense.
Which is kind of a rare thing. Like, the fact that... dragons know most languages. So the fact that they wouldn't be able to decipher any individual one is actually kind of impressive for the language itself. Like, that means it is quite rare.
Yeah. Loka's a special little guy. It's
funky little dude.
But yeah, I don't know what I would want him to do aside from that. I think there's just a lot of fascination with this new technology that he's just come across.
Yeah, I was about to say, how does Loka enjoy the process of, like, sending and receiving teleportation letters?
At first hated it.
Mm-hmm.
The first time it happened, scared the shit out of him. Didn't like it. Didn't trust it.
For sure.
Now he's just like,
I get a lot of
emails.
Yeah, essentially. Like right when email was first invented, we were all like, "Oh, I have an email!" Like,
funny. Yeah, absolutely. You and Feihu hang out and write letters for a bit.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything they are particularly want to do?
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think at the tail end of, like, maybe Feihu is, like, gathering her things, Loka would probably say, like...
Hey, Feihu?
Yeah.
Since there's, like, a lot of people who kind of know what we look like, is it safe for us to go with you to Athra?
I should think so. I suppose my only concern, if anyone would be so bold as to attempt something that would endanger us in broad daylight, particularly in Athra, I think would be indicative of their kind of opposition more than anything else. I don't think you should be in any danger unless things are far more dire than I am currently reading.
Okay, I just, with Pashmina's group and with the, the...
And Loka like holds up a finger to try and look like a talon.
Oh yes, of course.
if they're there and they spot us, I don't know, just... Good or bad, could lead them right to you or something,
I appreciate the thought. For sure. If identifying becomes an issue, I can always change forms along the way.
That's true too, I kind of forgot about that. You gotta teach me how to do that someday.
Perhaps if you begin your arcane studies at some point, I can help you with that, or if you
Become a dragon.
if you as you so believe may happen, manifest your own draconic form, it may come more easily to you than you think.
We've always got the possibility of a blood ritual, so...
She just smiles and nods. Yeah.
It's like, wow, what a funky little psychopath.
Damn, that's crazy.
Oh man.
I took a sip right as you said that. What a funky little guy this is.
Yeah, and I think she will gather her things and head back home. It's about midday. It's getting hot. People are it's siesta time. People are chilling out.
Second.
But luckily, it's a fairly calm day in Althra. Not much is going on. Could I actually get some perception checks from anyone who's just kind of out and around in the town?
Got it.
So, I just found out a funny, which kind of sucks for earlier in the session. I still have 1 level of exhaustion. So I should have been rolling with disadvantage. So I am very sorry.
Well, you slept overnight, right?
Yes, but I had 2 levels. When we got to town.
When you got to town? Because you took 1 to rest, because you napped immediately at Feihu's place.
Yes.
Right. And then you had another long rest at the inn, right?
I think
everyone else did,
if we'd
yeah.
been here then for that long.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm taking this off then.
Yep. Then you're good to go.
All right, bet. Because I saw it and I just went, ooh, that's not good.
By the way, I rolled a natural 20 plus 2
Oh my god,
Nice.
that's pretty good.
for that perception roll.
Actually, not bad. 18.
Yeah, also pretty good. Yeah,
Can I
so
roll one for being in the tavern or not?
sure.
Okay. Nope.
Nope. All right. Zeron and Peshmina, not so much of a noticing a thing as much as a notable absence. As far as you can tell, the diplomat has left already. It's a pretty long. You all are familiar with the journey from here to Althra, which is roughly a full day. They arrived here in the morning and they're immediately on their way back. Either means they didn't sleep or they're booking it one way and the other way.
Lord.
Is this normal behavior for couriers, would I know?
Medium normal. Go ahead and you've experienced enough couriers in your life to just know.
Yeah.
It typically takes 2 to 3 days for most couriers to deliver messages. to the Oasis towns, because they usually have to go there, spend the night, and then come back the next day. This would indicate an unprecedented amount of haste or expediency.
Why not just use the mail system?
Unironically... Okay, hold on. I need to reread. I'm going to send another letter.
Okay.
Real quick. And it's addressed to the same person. From before, the one I got originally. And I'll put it down in, like, our chat just so we have it. But I think they're just going to put, is aught amiss at the palace right now?
Gotcha.
Immediate response would be incredible. Or just, like, preferred.
Not at the palace, but the Greater Council is in a bit of a rush.
For what purpose, if you are privy to such knowledge?
Uncertain precisely, but the Monetarist Coalition appears to be trying to get something done.
Monitor or monetaire?
Monetarist, like in the Final Fantasy.
Oh, okay. I was like, are they monitoring or are they monetary?
Monetary, yeah.
Monetary. Are they doing this behind Father's back?
No, very much in front of it. He's not happy about it.
Understood. I will see what I can do.
Just get a little heart.
That's very in character for them, and I like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Could
I think-
we...
Oh,
I
go ahead.
was just gonna ask if we could, like, take 10 real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
I also want to try out this pause recording button and see if that
Ooh.
functions.
Oh no. Well, how will they hear our silly jokes?
I mean, I don't have to. We can just leave it running.
Our long silences and our funny mutterings in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
And our off-topic chatter.
All right.
Beams.
Be back soon. Ma'am, return.
Welcome back.
I'm back.
Remember to unpause the doobly-doo.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
We'll see how that sounds in the edit. And by the edit, I mean the lack thereof, because I refuse to edit any.
Yep. Fully understandable. Editing even 1 minute. Or no, it's more like editing down anything like from 3 minutes to less is like a full day of work.
Mm-hmm. Just finishing a snack.
I can't stop laughing about the fact that these cough drops are literally actually just hard candies and have
Yeah.
no medicinal.
They're like very
aspects whatsoever.
acidic too, which I was kind of surprised.
Yeah. I'm trying not to have too many, but I'm coughing a lot. These might just not be very effective cough
I was about to say.
drops. I think these might just be worse.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Or just a few bucks I can get.
Mm. I was thinking about making some hot tea, but I'll do that after the...
All right. It is now the early afternoon in Mirage. You've all got some downtime. Got some conversations underway. Is there anything you all would still like to do? Feihu is now returned to most of her business. You haven't seen Zerga for a while. She's kind of been notably absent today. Astior and Clandis are still kind of shopping around at the market if anyone wants to talk to them. And you all have each other to maybe plan out what you want to do next, or who needs to get talked to about stuff. Also, Millie's around, because Millie's always around.
Millie.
Horton.
Oh, I don't know if I have something. Not to do. I'm gonna look through my files real quick.
I can also
Sorry.
reiterate some of those loose threads, if that would be.
Sure.
So Astior's still got some stuff to talk about if folks want to talk to him about it, about maybe what he was doing up in the mountains, or about necromancy or other magical nonsense. Could talk, have a now that Feihu's had contact, it sounds like she's putting together some kind of plan for what to do about Althra, so could chat with her a little bit more about that. I know folks have some stuff going on their personal agendas. Can also go forward a little bit if folks don't have stuff they would like to do.
I know Hasan and I need to talk to Feihu.
Yes, we do.
We probably all need to talk to Feihu again. But yeah, that's the conversation we have planned.
Yeah.
Do you want to have it now?
I'm fine with that. If you're okay with that.
Sound.
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Do you want to do that like now in terms of like, do you want to wait until evening to do that?
Yeah, maybe wait until evening. Right now, Hasan will say, pass me up. We can meet up again later at evening. I would actually like to ask you, or is there something you had in mind?
Sorry, say that one more time, the last bit.
Would you like to join me? Would you like to join me when going to talk to Astior, or is there something else you wanted to do?
I guess I'm interested. If you have questions for them, I would be interested in their answers. I don't know exactly what you intend to talk about.
Oh, just a few simple questions, and also an apology, another on my long list of apologies I now have to issue. I need to apologize further for the scrying problem of the scrying pool and whatnot. Yes.
Kind of gives you a pat on the back.
Yes. I'm Shyle. Thank you. I hope this will go okay.
I'm here for moral support. She's trying to be positive.
Yeah, okay. Hey, son, well, I guess we're gonna go look for Astior.
Alright. They're still hanging out in the market. It's just kind of where they've decided to be today.
It's basically the place to be during the day.
And now that it's evening, it's getting busy again.
Hey, son, will I guess just approach Astior and say, oh, good morning, or evening. Oh, god damn it. Good evening, you two. Hello.
Oh, hey! What's going on?
Oh, nothing. Why is this on? Well, first of all, I would like to apologize again for the matter of the scrying pool, first and foremost.
Yes, well, it appears I won't be able to access it for a while anyway, so I'm not too worried
Yes.
about it.
And the whole mess, I know, and furthermore, I'd like to apologize for the state of maybe perhaps pressuring you into, well, teleporting us out.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. It's like I said, it's not my first time. Hopefully it will be my last. I would prefer not to do that again. But it seemed necessary, and Pejmin informed me of some of the dangers, so makes sense to me.
Yes. I was just hoping I probably haven't even introduced myself really formally yet. I happen to be of a sort of organization of scholars. You probably might not have heard of them, of archivists in the mountains of the Highlands. But yeah, I was
Is it
just
like a college, like a school?
more like a cloister of sorts, an insular cloister. We keep to ourselves for the most part.
Interesting.
Either way, but I was just hoping if I could perhaps just poke your mind a little bit, learn a bit more about where you were, because it's not something. I mean, you do. I mean, of course, you realize how amazing of a place you happen to be studying in.
It is
correct?
quite remarkable. We have some suspicions of what it may have been utilized as in the past. But it's an incredible find, really. Surprised everything is preserved so well that high in the mountains, despite having been abandoned for so long. And purportedly, you said Pejmina mentioned you explored an entirely different compartment beneath the mountain itself.
Ah, yes, of course. Well, yeah, yes. I mean, I'm sure at this point you already know the role of the role of the dragon that a black dragon played in the construction of the tower at this point, potentially.
Oh, we'd assumed it was a white dragon, given the
White?
atmosphere and their typical nesting habits.
Well, no, I guess that's true, but again, I think we all know that dragons are incredibly unpredictable things at this point.
Silence.
Yeah. But no, yes, I could never point out. I suppose that's one question I can't get answered then. I never managed to pin down the name, although I can manage to pin down a time period to when it was to what generation could have possibly created it. Sometime after after the old ancient ones, such as Terran and their kin. But I was hoping you would possibly know.
No. To be fair, we never really speculated about the identity of the previous owner of the tower. We're more interested in the materials therein.
I suppose not. But, I mean, you do realize. I'm surprised you didn't, though. What were you doing up there? I mean, you were living amidst a relic of before written history, suppose. Long lost before time. You never inquired.
It was less of a curious. So, we were more interested in utilizing the tools available, namely the scrying pool and a number of other magical examination devices. I was particularly curious in identifying these individual pockets of magical energy. They're just condensations of great magical power throughout Rackentha. And using the scrying tools in addition to these arcane measurement devices to be able to identify these these pockets of magical energy. They're scattered throughout the Rackentha. Although something very odd started occurring sometime after we began observing, which is that occasionally there are, of course, the positive and negative energies when it comes to magical phenomena, and these enormous pockets of positive energy would grow very slowly, but certainly growing, and then to a certain point they would flip. They would decrease vastly in power, and then begin to grow again very rapidly in negative energy until at one point they became roughly equivalent to their previous power in positive energy, and then would either disappear or migrate to the western end of the continent. Very odd. Very odd.
Sorry, I got a message. What was that last part? I got a message from Hannah real quick. What was that last part?
These individual enormous spikes of magical energy would flip from positive to negative, and then move, either disappear or move west.
As though they were being attracted to something, or perhaps like a current of sorts?
We suspect that these pockets of energy may be connected to locations of great magical magnitude. For example, one such location is actually here in Mirage. It is easily one of the smaller or smallest examples of such a buildup of positive magical energy, but it is still notable nonetheless, and carries the same essences as the other magic. Might be hordes, could be ley lines, perhaps some items of great power or creatures of great power that may indicate their change. Though there is one correspondence that seems to be concerning. And that is, there have been a number of reports provided to me by one of my research associates that there is a magical sickness that has popped up in a few such locations prior to such a magical event. Typically preceded by a weakness, and then a bit of fervor among the populace. Nothing riotous, just a little bit of fear tends to follow disease when it pops up. And then this event, this flipping of magics.
And then what happens afterwards, this flipping of magics? Have you been able to observe the effects of that?
No, like I said, it either disappears or migrates.
And he said always out west, correct?
Correct. Typically to the coast, near the Coalition region. There seems to be one particular pocket of such negative energies that is growing steadily in the area.
You would not happen to have made a map of these pockets, would you?
Oh, yes. And I have. It is back at the thing, but I can make some notes if you would like.
I would love that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm supposing there was one beneath, and you said there was one beneath the tower, perhaps?
No, notably there was none in the tower itself. Though we were able to use the tools there to track it. And he'll grab. Do you have? I'm okay with saying you have a map available in your amount of documentation.
Yeah, that's fine.
And he starts marking some locations on your map. I'll mark it on your map. Notably, so in the relevant to just the region you're in currently, there is a small pocket of positive energy where you are right now in Mirage. Very like small. It's large, but it's like small comparatively. And there is this quite large pocket of negative energy in the center of Havswrath. There are a number of other locations. There's There's some positive energy in a few separate positive energy pockets in some mountain ranges. There's a positive energy pocket in some islands. This is one of the impetuses for me to actually make the map of the Rackentha, and I will note these things in those locations.
You got it. And would I perhaps know what defines negative magic? What exactly defines a negative pocket of magic?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead and make Arcana for me with advantage.
That's gonna be a 15.
15? Alright, yeah, so, like, super basics is, positive energy is generally associated with the higher planes, negative energy is generally associated with the lower planes. So, like, healing magic, illusion magic, creation magic, stuff like evocation, a lot of that is positive energy. And then stuff like necromancy, death dealing, particular like energy, things that draw energy from other sources. There are. It's not as simple as like positive, good, negative, bad. But the traditional associations are certainly there. And like there are different kinds of magic typically associated with the use of positive and negative magical energies.
No, that's fascinating. Oh, speaking of negative magical energy, so thank you for your time. Also, as another little apology, I would like to pass something to you if you don't mind. Perhaps it might be an enjoyably or perhaps laughable read for you. And Heisan will bring out the Patches notebook, and slide it over. Whilst we were traveling before, my companions and I, we happened upon something of an amateur necromancer who was building off of or improvising off of someone previous's work. Although, I wouldn't suppose you would have seen something like this before, or perhaps this writing?
Oh, not this writing specifically, but this kind of thing I've countless times. People dabbling in the darker arts, I suppose. He sounds very flippant about it.
Yeah. I just suppose you might not exactly a replacement for everything. Well, not just you, the world lost. God knows how much was lost back there. But I figured it might be something a replacement for what you lost back there.
Oh, this is... I appreciate the sentiment. This is the rudimentary ramblings of a madman who barely knows what he's doing. This is not particularly a journal of fine arcane repute.
I suppose not.
Maybe
something for a laugh.
Certainly entertaining, I suppose.
Yes. And before I go, there's actually one more thing I would like to ask of you. Since you were reading in there for how long?
Oh, a few months.
Oh. You wouldn't have perhaps come upon any passages similar to this, would you? I once had the privilege of talking with a very, very, very old being who had once told me of who once sang to me a little song that they used to sing with, that I was told they used to sing with their siblings. And give me 1 second. It was always sung in primordial, but it would come. The song would translate to, "O husk of earth, dormant and slothful. O sea, still and unenergetic. O sky, empty and uninspired. O heart, unbeating and despondent. Open thy dampened ears to my song, and take heed of its words, of your past and your future." And it was something that this old being used to sing constantly, and I was never able to find anything about it, but you spent time in one of perhaps the oldest libraries known. Would you perhaps have heard anything similar to this before?
That's curious. That's a, It sounds almost as much an incantation as it does a musical assembly or a poetry.
Such as what I thought as well. The words, it always seemed somehow imbued with some sort of, I don't know, power and longing, something of sorts. Something very old.
Yes.
Forgive me, I know this is... You have no reason to know this, I know,
That's
but...
interesting. I will keep an eye out for it should I continue my studies.
Thank you. Please do tell me if you find anything. I might be a bit too busy in the future.
I will do.
Given-
I'll send you a note.
Oh, yes. You haven't already subscribed to this. Hey, son, sort of sighs for a second. What was it called? The little messaging company.
Mm-hmm. The Carthax's Arcane Couriers.
You wouldn't have already happened to have subscribed to Carthax's Arcane Couriers, have you?
Oh, I have, in fact, some time ago.
Oh.
A couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks. Well, if you ever wish to tell me, I have recently become a subscriber. He doesn't like the sound of that, but if you wish to reach out to me, I will be perfectly happy to respond. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you very much for humoring me.
Oh, not in humor. You know your stuff fairly well.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I will leave you be then. Have a great... I do hope... Take care.
Alright.
And, good night. Hello, Calandis. It was nice, seeing you, I guess.
It was nice seeing you, too.
Yeah, yes, goodbye. His son will just sort of walk away awkwardly.
Mm-hmm.
Pashmina did leave that conversation halfway through
Yeah.
without
Yes.
a word.
Yes, she did. The text, the little message I got was, Pashmina through the sending zone. Sorry, I'm bored. Going back to the inn. Bye.
She got bored.
That's reasonable.
Started talking about energies and shit.
I hope I didn't bore you all with that.
No. It's actually good. That's just how Pashmina is.
All right.
That's actually good information, and actually is probably relevant to Pashmina, but Pashmina didn't realize that at the time. So.
And I guess now Hasan has to go talk to Feihu with Pashmina, but if anybody else has anything else to do, we can do with that before.
Sounds like you're good to keep moving.
Like, I do have something, but I don't know how to approach it.
Any way I can
So I'm
help?
good. Sarad's worried that he offended Pashmina.
Oh,
He's really worried and he doesn't know how to approach it.
Yeah, I mean, so Peshmina does come back to the inn. She would come back to the back entrance since it's convenient.
Fair.
And like if you see her, she will acknowledge you, but just not as warmly and bubbly as usual.
You see Loka waiting expectantly.
Looker's in the plant again.
No.
I mean, I guess my mini's right there. I didn't move them, but you know what? Fine, let's do this. Is that okay?
It's
Am
up
I
to you.
taking away?
No, it's up
Please.
to you.
Okay.
Today's episode is basically set up for let's have conversations and do an investigation.
Alright, bet.
I just straight up, like, I have very little plans for this session. If at any point we kind of run out of stuff to do, I'm probably gonna call it.
Understandable. Yeah, I guess Zoran will kind of see Pashmina and will give just their usual, just kind of like bow as like a greeting.
Yeah, Peshmina will she's like continuing on. She sees this and gives like a very curt nod. It's like normally she would play along, maybe bow back, maybe just even hang out with Zoran, but now she's just kind of moving on. Oop, not toward you.
Oh.
Opposite.
Oh.
Opposite. Unless you like speak to her, she's going inside.
Yeah, he will. And will just kind of open their mouth and say, "Did you do a lot today?"
Hmm?
Just catching up. How was today?
Oh. Had a very productive conversation with Astior. I spent most of the day with Hason.
Lovely.
We intend to talk to Feihu later tonight, but I think he's still with Astior, so she just kind of shrugs.
I think they wait to see if she's like kind of tries to end and like continue on. If she takes another step, he's gonna say something.
She also waits for a moment, and it gets kind of awkward because she was like, "Okay, we're talking," and then you have nothing to say, and then she said that all that she's going to say. She's like, well, I'm going inside, I guess. Starts to move.
Wait. Please. Just a moment of your time.
She stops.
They're usually a lot more put together, but I think they look genuinely nervous. Please forgive me if I'm misinterpreting words or actions. Have I done something to offend you?
At that, you can... Her expression changes a bit. And it goes from just kind of neutral to thinking. A little more guarded. Zaron, while it's a bit complicated. I wish I could say that things were like they were before all of this, before yesterday. But things, to me at least, have changed quite a lot. I want to keep traveling and working and doing all of this. And, you know, hopefully with you and the others. But to put it in the bluntest terms, you laughed in my face, Zaron, when I brought it up the first time. And then all the things that happened after, it's all a bit confusing.
I think Zaron's really confused because I'm really confused at the moment.
So, back on the cart ride to Althra the very first time, when Peshmina threw the shoe at you and brought up the flyer, Zaron laughed in her face and just lied about being the prince. just for context.
Okay, because I was like, I don't remember this at all. Okay, that makes a little more sense. Back in character. I know it was literally just said, like, out of character. I think he's still super confused and just straight up asks what she means.
What do I mean?
I do not insist on calling you a liar. If I did something to offend you, please, I want to right all the wrongs. I do not know of what you've...
Peshmina just holds up a hand. On the way to Althra, when we first received that first job from Fehu, and the other cart passed by, I examined a flyer and it had your face on it. I asked you about this, and in answer, you laughed out loud like it was silly. And said that it wasn't true.
I now understand where the misunderstanding has gone to. And firstly, my sincerest apologies for my actions of the past. If I am at all to defend myself, and you are, of course, welcome to tell me I'm not allowed. I did not know you, nor Loka, nor Heisan, truly at that moment. And I could possibly still say I do not know everything about all of you. I am still freshly... It's a terrible word to say, but I'm freshly escaped from Althra. I am terrified of going back. I try to play my cards very close to my chest because I truly am afraid, and still am, that someone should betray my trust and hand me back over to the city for some quick change and then some. Simply put, if I ever was to return to the city under my, I hate to say true alias, I would never be allowed to leave the city again, much less the palace. Frankly, I would believe that Cybella herself would have me confined to my room for the rest of my life, but I do not know. I am very sorry that I lied about who I was, but in that moment, I was afraid of being found out, and an even truer sentiment is that I do not wish to be known as some runaway prince. I do not wish to be known as Erasmus right now. I am, right now, and shall always be, Zoran.
Her expression is kind of downcast through all of that. Not harsh, just contemplating. The mention of the name Cybella also gets a strange expression very briefly, but then it kind of smooths back out. I can understand and appreciate where you're coming from. I'll think on the apology.
That is all I can ask. If there's anything I can do for you, please, do not hesitate to ask me.
She hesitates.
All I can hope at the end of the day is to earn your trust once again.
Zoran?
Yes.
Why did you do what you did when I received that terrible gash on my back? Because, for one, I know you didn't do it for stupid heroics, because you didn't tell anyone. But, I mean, she kind of... She looks bothered.
I see. And I think Zoran also looks slightly uncomfortable, just like the memories of just, I think especially being scolded by Pashmina then is coming back up. I hate to be laughing while saying that, but like, it's just kind of how it is. And they just kind of like shuffle their feet in the sand and the dirt. when you are in a status position such as the one I was born into, you are not afforded many things. You are some, but aren't in others. I had but one friend back in Elthra. He is still my closest friend, and he was, funnily enough, my retainer, a servant of sorts. Ever since being here and meeting the rest of you, I know we haven't been together long, but you are all very, very dear friends to me. Even then, we didn't know each other 100%, and I know we still do not now. Ashmina, I was afraid for you. I know how much it's hurt you, because I felt that too when I took it away from you. I know how much you put on a brave face going through it. Part of me wants to say it was just a chivalrous thing to do. But simply put, I hurt every time you hurt. I care deeply for you. And I could not suffer another day of watching you in such pain. And upon feeling that pain for the first time, when I asked my patient to give it to me, in a sense it justified it in my head that I had done the right thing. And I realize now I didn't, but during that, I did. I do not wish to see you hurt. Ever.
Ashmina looks both a little bit like she's like she is somehow flustered and like speechless and frustrated all at the same time. Like the cocktail of emotions right now. I think you just get a little like, oh. And then
if she has nothing to say, I think he immediately... Do you have anything you want to say immediately?
No. I'm still chewing on all of that.
Okay. That I think that they just bow their head and just say, forgive me, I think I've said too much. And we'll just leave the scene completely.
I like to think Heisan just walks.
You absolutely can.
That's That's good. That's
even better.
As Zoran leaves, and just what does Zoran's expression look like right now?
Flustered themselves. They're a little red.
Mortified, maybe?
Embarrassed.
Wait, Loco was here the whole time, weren't they?
That would also be very funny.
He's in the tavern just enjoying himself, but
Oh, okay.
I don't think he overheard anything necessarily.
That's also fair. I think, yeah, they're just embarrassed. Kind of like, honestly, as they walk out, like their tails between their legs sort of thing, as they just kind of dip around the corner. Like, they're always usually really respectful, especially like to Pashmi, like for a lady, they always do like a really respectable bow. No, they just dip. They just dip.
Like, well.
Heisan just kind of looks back confusedly and looks to Pashmina as like, is Pashmina still that weird cocktail of emotions?
Yeah, she's also definitely a little bit more pink than usual, and her tail is kind of like twitching back and forth like an angry cat's almost. Like the like tense, but just thinking. The cogs are turning.
Heisan just looks and says, Pashmina, are you alright? You seem somehow a bit more pink than usual.
Turns away from you very quickly. When did you get here?
Just now I saw our rather lupine friend, or increasingly lupine friend, walk around wearing a very odd expression on his face. Is everything alright? Last time, I know things were odd between you, couldn't exactly put a finger on it, since our previous time in the throne where he obviously pissed you off about something. Wasn't quite sure. But whatever, I suppose it doesn't matter, I won't cry, although I'm here to talk if you're interested.
Zoran is maybe the most confusing person I've ever met.
Oh, that's for certain. The man is an absolute... He makes the oddest decisions sometimes. Well, sometimes understandable, but utterly just baffling. Perhaps not too baffling. I believe he has read far too many fairy tales and taken them a bit far too seriously. Yes. I used to be like that. I suppose that's what I would have been like if I had spent my... Well, I did... Oh, wait, I did spend my entire life cloistered.
I think, in a way, we all did.
Huh. Yes. Except for Loka. Yes, but either way, I'm feeling a bit confident enough to talk to Feihu, and I was hoping you could... would you like me to do that on my own? You appear to be rather skittish, your tail is moving very oddly.
It wraps around her ankle very tightly so that it stops moving. Nope, I'm fine. Everything is fine.
Well, if you say so.
Yes, I do. Let's go.
Yes.
All right, and you're off
Not
to Feihu's.
giving off awkward vibes at all.
No.
Someone doesn't get romance. Or people.
Feelings? Gross. I just want historical
So
facts.
I'm just gonna drop themselves into the oasis. Just don't mind them. Just drop
One of the guards, you just see the guards pulling out we have another violator of the drinking water.
It wasn't me this time!
Just let them just deep in their feelings.
I have a money.
The water begins boiling. Okay. And oh, right. Right.
Spin.
Now at Fayhue's. Oh, wait, right, I can do that. Gotta do the twirl.
Spin.
Bean.
Spin.
Spin.
Hassan will. There is no door frame here. Hassan.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
think I
Hassan will
mentioned she has like a beaded curtain or something in the entrance.
Yeah. Hassan will just sort of jingle at the
Tap
At the
on
beads.
the wall.
Oh,
yeah, scratch. They'll give a little scratch to the stonework.
yes, you too.
Oh. Hassan is suddenly kind of stiffens for a second.
Everything
Yes.
alright?
Yes. No. Yes and no.
Behu kind of looks between Hassan and Pashmina.
Pashmina is just bolstering Hasan, like pat pat.
Can I? May I? I don't deserve to sit down. No.
No, oh, it was an honest mistake, Hasan. You did nothing was meant by it.
I nearly brought. Yes, you. All right. Yes, that's fine. May I sit down?
Please. Please do.
Okay, and Hassan will just will sit down wherever he can.
There's a couple chairs in the abode.
So, as you will know, things became very, very, heated during the previous couple within the previous 48 hours.
Yes.
And many foolish things were done, many emotions were shown. Well, the point is, what? I guess I should start from the beginning.
Hassan, please.
No, yes. Everything is fine. Just a potential future problem regarding security in regards to
A complication.
Yes.
Potential future problems regarding a Peshmina, do you know what he's trying to say?
Hasan unattuned from his card for a brief amount of time.
How long and when?
It was just before we went through the deep archives, into the deep archives. You wanted to know about. You've tried to find out information about the archivist before. Well, if you want to know what we do, we are. And you must tell nobody about this, so. We like to be a set of prying eyes. We very much like to have our sets of prying eyes everywhere. And we have magical means to do so. Very powerful magical means.
I see.
And entering such an ancient place that predates the Deafening War to the Age of Wizardry, I figured, I know many people in my archive who would love to see this. So, I unattuned and notified my brother that, well, someone should take a look. And from there on until the moment we teleported away, they saw, well, perhaps a good deal. They saw the Black Dragon's Hoard and the egg that we carried. I hadn't expected to find it. We just sort of did, and thankfully, thank the heavens, they saw nothing of your hoard. But according to what I've been told and been informed of, what I have found is being discussed in that they may call upon me to do investigations of my own or assignments of my own, something. They say that decisions are being made for me.
It's a threatening tone of phrase.
Yes, and I fear that I may be losing some of my autonomy that I have enjoyed for the past year or so.
Are you still a member of this society?
We are all members of this society.
No, not
Once a member,
this.
always a member.
I mean, really. So you leaving the enclave means that you're still beholden to them.
My leave from the Enclave is officially temporary. A sort of grant of leave for an indeterminate period of time until which I am to study and travel, and required to come back with some sort of treatise of some sorts, things that the archive does not know or could not know, based on what could not know due to the limits of our, well, investigative means. The whole reason I came to Mirage in the first place was our eyes could not pierce the veil that, well, yourself generates. I now know. So I came to investigate the storms myself. I will be expected at some point to, I know, return and deliver a study or or just deliver my findings. And I don't know when that will be.
And if they call, you will simply leave?
Heisan stays silent for a moment.
They can't force you, can they?
No, they can't, but obligation is obligation. If I don't heed a call, I don't know. I don't know what they would do, what sort of punishments I may receive if I... There are no exiles I know of the archive. I don't know what happens they will do if I don't go back, whether I will be banished or treated, or I will be banished from the archive, treated as persona non grata per se, or just what I will lose. And I don't want to leave. I don't want to go back. Not again. I felt terrible there, but I can't imagine not going back either. It's home. Terrible, but it's home. I can't just not go back to my brother and and everyone. I don't know.
Ashmina has a hand on your shoulder.
I don't know what they're going to ask of me or what will ask of me. You should know we do not send people out often.
No, you are a rarity, and like I said, the extent of my interaction with them is limited.
I just don't know what's going to be asked of me, and thankfully they know nothing of you, but I know that might concern you, and I do intend on keeping your secret until my dying breath. I intend on keeping it, as I'm sure the other did. Well, if they even found out, I'm sure they didn't.
No,
Oh,
you
yes.
are one of the first. The only archivist I know of that is aware of me. I appreciate your honesty. I think it will be, unfortunately, I think it will become I cannot predict how or what they will do, but I know now to be prepared for that, should it happen, I suppose, and I'm here to help if there's anything I can do for you. Mirage is a pretty good place to hide. Though you don't seem the hiding type.
No, I spent too. As short-lived as we are, I spent far too long cooped up. I can't imagine. Trading one nest for another, so to say.
An apt metaphor. Well, if the time should come where they call you back and you truly do not want to return, I'd be more than willing to protect you. What could a bunch of archivists do against a dragon, you know?
Yes.
But it sounds like that's not really in the cards for you right now.
No.
Well, in the meantime, I hope that you can stick close to your allies. Find people who you can support and can support you.
I'll beat him up. Like shadow boxing. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just imagining it. Her like skirt flounces as she does like a shadow box. It's a very silly way.
Well, thank you for your understanding, and I apologize if I've done anything to perhaps lose your trust or anything.
No, as of right now, honestly, despite any shortcomings, you all seem honest to a point. Regardless of other sordid histories.
You're trying, I think.
It's, gives me a lot of trust and respect for you all.
Yeah. I suppose you haven't gotten any message from Althra, have you?
I have.
I was wondering about that
The
myself.
message being, I am expected to
Oh,
appear
no.
before the royal court within the
Oh.
month. The
Oh.
sooner the better. And should I refuse, Mirage will suffer a trade embargo, which,
Oh,
given the state of the merchant trains, would all but starve the town.
so basically you have to go.
Yes. Not particularly enthused about it, but I hope I can manage. Potentially with your help, if you all wouldn't mind.
No, I would be happy to.
We're at your beck and call.
And
That's I appreciate that very much.
I know at the very least that I doubt many of the Kenku caravans would be rather pleased about this embargo themselves. I know you can find allies in them.
This is true.
If it's any solace.
I have already sent word to a couple of the other Oasis towns, in fact. Both as a call for support and a warning. I am merely the nearest, and Mirage, the mirror pool, the most important. There will be naught to stop them from applying similar tactics to other oases. And should the oasis towns themselves band together, I believe when it comes to embargoes of trade, two can play at that game.
I was about to say.
Althra is
Sounds
not a
like-
town that is self-sustaining.
Hmm. Hopefully you'll have time to make plans, at least.
Well, I've been sending correspondence back and forth today, and expect more tomorrow. This new Carthax, this is quite interesting. It's been eminently useful today. I surprised it has not existed until now. It's fascinating. I would like to meet this Carthax.
I would
But-
too, and I find it personally worrying. I don't know. They say the correspondence is perfectly, well, anonymous and secure. I'm not quite sure if I trust Carthax with my own secrets.
That's reasonable. But, honestly, right now, for me in this situation, the expediency outweighs the need for secrecy. If the Royal Court finds out what I'm planning, so be it. They'll have heed of it soon enough anyway. In the meantime, I will need to speak with Zerga about taking care of the eggs.
Oh, where is Zerga? I haven't seen her all day.
Zerga's been...
Yes.
She's finally started painting again today.
Wonderful.
She had some project she intended to do in the Horde. And honestly, I don't mind making sure that the eggs have companions.
How has she been, by the way? I mean, news of a blue dragon destroying destroying a cave in the northern fascia had to have made ripples somewhere.
She's not happy that she had to abandon. I think she's having a bit of a blue period as far as her artwork goes.
Understandable. That was a bit of a tragedy, to be completely honest.
I likewise, and she has not taken that in stride internally. She's been expressing her sorrows as of late, and part of that is that she uses a lot of blue pigment now. But
Well, didn't she always?
it was kind of a theme, yes, through a lot. It feels more purposeful now, as far as the composition. But she's funneling it into a creative outlet, which I'm more than willing to support. And in times like these, I do simply appreciate having someone to watch the Horde, honestly. And she says she'll come to town if she ever wishes. I intend to invite her for the next little festivals we've got going on, which shouldn't be for a while, but...
Does she want to be alone right now? Would she appreciate company?
I think she would maybe appreciate a small quantity of visitors. Folks like you, folks she knows. Well, at least a little bit. If you'd like to come by the Horde tomorrow, maybe we could yeah,
That would be wonderful.
have a little bit of a chat, and maybe I can a bit vain, but maybe I can show you some of the progress I can be working on my egg.
Oh, yes.
Anywho, it is starting to get late. I'm sure you have at least a bit to discuss with your companions. I hope you're all doing well, at least.
I think we're managing.
simply let me know if I can support you any further, alright?
Will do.
Right.
Thank you.
Good night, you two.
Good night.
Good night. Let me out. Fuck.
Phase through the wall.
Yeah, there we go.
Well,
Couldn't
that
see.
went well, I think. Yes?
I mean, she is quite understanding, so.
Surprisingly.
I mean. She gives you a more hearty pats on the back. See? Not so hard.
Oh. Hello, Millie.
Millie! No, Millie!
Ah.
Psst, 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 psst. Yes! Millie! Millie!
Under
It's
the
for
Millie.
Millie.
Scritches for Millie.
Yeah. Alright.
I hope Millie is enjoying her freedom. Who knows for how much longer she'll have it.
She is a terror around town, to be sure.
Who's a good fox? Who's a good fox?
Just slops over immediately.
Millie, 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 Millie.
Like, does the, like, lie back, like, the cat, like, lie on the back, stretch out, and it takes up the whole road.
Oh no.
Big fox, big fox. Night, night, Millie.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
That's probably not how that's supposed
Millie.
to work.
That does not seem correct.
Funny. It's probably because it's scaled.
Yeah. That is silly. Bye, Millie. Alright, back to the inn.
Back to Ian.
Alright.
Meow.
Zoran and Loka, do you eventually end up back in the inn?
Nope.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
No. Bye.
Time to roll a new character. Zaran has slept.
Zoran, may I ask where you
his
are?
own feelings. You can't run forever, Zoran.
You'll never catch me!
I quite literally think that they're just gonna sit at the oasis because they don't need to sleep.
That's true.
They quite literally don't need to sleep.
You've taken the
All
feat that
right.
allows you to brood.
Yeah. That's what they're really good at doing right now.
Time to hide my shame.
I think that they are just taking a very long needed, just like, I don't want to say brood session because it's not, but like they just need time to themselves. And I think they're just sitting on the edge of the oasis, just kind of like watching the water.
Hmm. Yeah. Does anyone go looking for Zoran?
Son will probably notice their. Does anybody else want to go looking for them? Because his son will, if nobody else decides to.
I think Peshmina is also in the camp of, oh god, I can't make eye contact with this person for at least another, 8 hours. So, probably not.
I think it almost makes sense for Loka not to go looking for him, but to run across him incidentally.
That works.
If you would like to.
Suppose I could.
He's brooding. Brooding by the oasis.
I wasn't expecting to have a conversation like this, but alright, let's go.
I have no idea what the conversation will even be, but we'll find
what
out.
you
huh?
thinking
We're gonna
about?
find
Yeah, so Loka is gonna be walking up to the oasis, see Zoran, and just be like,
Oh, I hate Zoran. But I thought cats didn't like water.
I think normally that would get a reaction, and all you get is just kind of like a half-hearted wave. They're not even looking at you.
Zoran, have you been, possessed? Hello?
And just a really long sigh.
Oh God!
No, I'm not possessed.
You seem something. Like sad or upset or something. I can't quite tell. You good? You okay?
No, I'm not.
What happened? There was such a day today. We all got to send letters and talk to our friends from across the world.
I'm glad you got to talk to your friends. I'm just afraid I've offended our mutual friend in some way, and I wanted to fix it, and somehow I feel as I made things worse.
What you do?
I don't think Saran wants to say. I think he doesn't want to say mainly because I don't think he knows if Local understands. Which is the best way I can put that. God, how the hell am I gonna phrase this?
I can ask a follow-up question.
Please.
Okay, so if you don't want to tell me what you did, who'd you do it to? Did you piss off his son? I'm sure he'll forgive you.
No, it was not Tayson. It was, Lady Pashmina.
Oh God, you're gonna die, huh?
Yes, I am quite aware that I have possibly, what do they say, screwed myself slightly. I am all too aware. I've never been good at speaking my mind on matters like that, and I think I said too much, and now I am terrified to even look at her, so I am having a great day so far.
What is... I feel like I'm missing some really important context. What did you, like what?
Oh, Zoran is so uncomfortable. I like this.
Loka hands you Puppy.
Zoran absolutely takes Puppy and just kind of holding him in their lap. I thought she was mad at me this morning. I could tell that there was something off between how she and I were interacting. And I asked her about it not too long ago. And it seemed to be going all right. I apparently offended her slightly at some point a while ago, and I apologized for it. For the whole, lying to everyone, saying that I wasn't actually a missing prince, even though I was, because I didn't know you all at that point, and that's beside the point now, but when Pashmina had taken the hit when we were fighting the patch, you remember the really bad cuts that she got. Well,
Yeah.
Go. At some point after we arrived to... Oh god, what was the town? Zerga's town.
Nazgul.
Nazgul.
It was in Nazgul?
Yeah, Nazgul.
Okay. When we arrived to Nazgul, at some point, I contacted my patron, the entity that gave me the lantern and magical abilities. And I asked him to take her pain away and give it to me. Obviously, without anyone knowing. And obviously you did that without permission, because I apparently am not a smart man, but I thought I was doing the right thing in the moment. And
I mean, yeah, you made a deal with the devil or something. That's not a great start to like a life, you know?
trust me, I am all too aware about that now. Emra's a different thing at the moment that I do not want to dread much on right now. That's a problem for another day, but I ended up taking the pain away and gave it to myself and hid this from everyone until we arrived back at Mirage, where Feihu, Pashmina, and I sat and conducted a ritual of sorts to remove the curse. I am fine now, but at that point, that is when I told Pashmina, and she harbored some ill feelings about the whole thing, which is completely understandable, and I will gladly admit I was in the wrong for the entire thing. And that was brought up again tonight, of the question of why I did it, and I just kind of said everything that was on my mind, where you all are very, very precious beings to me. I would easily call you, Hassan, Pashmina, Tfehu, all some of the dearest friends in my life, and that's to me, because I do not have those. Never did really have those. And I'm sorry, I'm going off here.
So, yeah, I guess I'm kind of lost. You said everything that's on your mind. And Pashmina's upset because you said that we're your friend? Maybe she just doesn't want to be your friend. But that's kind of surprising. Pashmina's so nice.
I know. She's been lovely. I enjoy her company quite a bit, but I don't think it's the being friends thing. I don't exactly know her opinions on the matter, but I said that I just did not want to see her hurt anymore. That had pained me too much, especially during that whole fiasco. And I just kind of blurted out everything that came to mind, and when I finally stopped, she didn't say anything, and that told me I did too much. And so here I am, wallowing away in my feelings and my thoughts, staring at a small pool of water. At, goodness, what is the time now? And looks up to the sky to, see where the position of the moon is. It's late.
It's night. It's late.
It is late.
It's nighttime.
It is exactly night o'clock.
It was exactly 9 o'clock.
So,
Loka has like one of those completely deadpan faces. I think just in general, but I don't think it helps that right now he especially is just kind of like looking around. Like he's fully lost. Like he just doesn't I feel like you're not being quite specific enough for him, and so he just doesn't quite get it.
I don't know how else to be specific, which is the worst bit.
Yeah. No, because I know Zoran does.
What?
I know Zoran does not want to say more than they've already said.
Mm-hmm.
But like that little bit extra is what Loka needs to like
Which
make
bit?
sense of it. I assume the fact that you're like crushing on. I can't quite tell if that's the actual case or not, but
Are they?
that's my assumption.
Are they?
That's my assumption as a player.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what's actually happening. But yeah, confusion from the fish friend.
Okay. Zoran does not say much else on the matter. I'm sorry, I know this is probably just ramblings for me at this point. I know you're probably used to them, but...
yeah, I feel like everybody in this group kind of likes to talk. And hey, I'm a big offender of that too. I like hearing my own voice, so you know.
I'm sure. But enough about bad feelings and all feelings and everything of the sort. Tell me, you said something earlier about friends coming to contact you again.
Oh yeah. So, okay. So, the friends that I knew, before I met all of you, I haven't seen them in quite a long time. I mean, things just kind of fell apart and some bad stuff happened. Actually, some really bad stuff happened, but it's fun. I mean, it's not fun. I mean, someone died, but anyway, so I haven't seen them in a while, and, they said they're gonna try and travel here, I think. So I might get to see them soon. That's exciting.
Oh, they are?
Yeah!
That's wonderful. I'm glad you can see your friends again. When are they due? Do you know where they're headed to?
Hopefully here, tomorrow, or maybe the next day.
Truly?
Yeah, they said they were pretty close by, so, you know.
Close by. Just tries to like think of like all the nearby city like areas or like oasis towns. Interesting. How do you know them?
So we kind of did what like the four of us are doing now. We were a big group, a small group, but we had a big presence, you know, like, and we were out on the water, and we were what's the word that you use? Smugglers? Illegal merchants? Smugglers?
Smuggling?
Yeah, I mean, something like that, yeah.
Oh, I see.
I mean, nothing that bad, you know. Probably.
I shall take your word for it. Usually,
You can
having the
absolutely
word
insult
illegal in there is usually not that great, but I am not one to judge.
You can and absolutely should insight this, by the way.
You know what? Just because you said it. 15.
Oh god, I mean, yeah, I have to roll a deception check then. Shit, hang on.
Deception or persuasion, who knows?
No, he's.
No, that's the. Typically, you say like you can roll deception or persuasion to like give people the probable deniability
okay.
of whether or not they're lying.
I don't. Me as a player doesn't mind
don't
if
worry
you're
about
lying. Zerad doesn't know any better.
So I also got a 15, 11 plus 4. I don't know what that means.
I think Ty goes to the roller, and in this case, that's Zeron.
I will let you choose if Zeron.
Zeron can absolutely tell. I think just by the fact that Loka is like dancing, or he like took so long to find the right word. Because you know that Loka can like actually. This is not like he's playing dumb a little bit with that. So you can tell that he is being a little less than truthful about what he and they did.
Interesting. And you said you were someone of note?
I mean, we kind of also like run up against big, powerful I guess companies is the right word. I'm
actually at a loss for what word
Fishing
this should be.
crews, mostly.
Yeah.
Like coastal invaders is kind of the word, kind of not. There was some conflict between the seafaring folk, the sea living folk and seafaring folk.
Yeah.
And some of that was like formal, and some of that was more piratey, espionage-y, you know.
Yeah. What God just said.
Sorry, that got me. I see. Forgive me for asking this immediately, and please take no offense when I say this or ask this. Fair?
I mean, I think out of everybody in this group, you have the highest likelihood of offending. But I'll do my best not to be.
You're not a wanted man, are you?
You know, I'm gonna be really honest with you. I'm not quite sure. Probably not anymore, but maybe.
Fair.
At the very least, you don't see wanted posters with my old face on it. That's something.
All right. I think Zeron kind of has a general clue, but they don't want to be like that person to like just straight out ask. So, why are you quite literally a fish out of water out here?
Oh, I mean, like I said, things kind of went south. The crew split ways afterwards.
Was there a disagreement or a change in leadership, perhaps?
Loka looks down. And this, I don't know how often you see Loka, like, show genuine emotion. But I think he definitely gives off the vibe of, like, he is sad. He's big sad right now, thinking about it.
one of us, we were really close, you know. And what we did was kind of like what we do. It was kind of dangerous. And one job we did, it didn't go so well. One of my friends, he died.
I see.
That kind of ruined everything.
My condolences for your loss, Loka.
Anyways, I don't like talking about it because it is very sad.
I'm sure. And I will gladly drop the topic. At the very least, I am glad that you potentially get to see your friends again tomorrow.
I hope so. I think if they meet everybody, they're gonna. I think you'd all get along. Okay. I think his son might struggle, but he might also find them fascinating. So I don't know.
We shall see. It shall be definitely an experience.
Yeah.
I am excited to meet them.
Are you gonna stay out here for a little bit, or what are you doing?
Probably. I'm not sure if I'll be sleeping tonight.
You want me to leave Puppy with you, or yeah, I'll take it.
Puppy is all yours, but thank you for lending him for a short period of time. And Zoran will give a nice little pet to Puppy's head.
Emotional support puppy.
And then we'll lift him up and just kind of holding a cat between the front two legs and just letting it dangle. Just kind of hold Puppy out like that.
Okay.
Look, Puppy very gingerly.
Okay, well, you have fun not sleeping, I guess. I don't know how you do that, but, more power to you, I suppose.
Thank you. I shall see you soon then.
Probably tomorrow.
Hopefully. Have a good night, my friend.
You just hear Loka say as he's leaving.
I think Zoran's gonna run away. What do you think, Puppy?
Oh.
Taking
Fair.
bets with the beaver.
Puppy just stares at you.
Mwah.
Puppy
Well,
sticks
that's
his
what I
tongue out.
thought. That's a good point.
Excellent. All right. Everyone has an opportunity to rest and relax for the night. And in the morning, you've all been invited to Fayhue's. And to Fayhue's Horde to have a little bit of a chat. And somewhere on the horizon, an airship is closing in on Mirage.
An airship. Let's go.
Sick.
Debate. I'm trying to think of whether I want to roll into the next day this session or call it here. I am getting kind of sleep. And I have a little bit of a better idea of what to do. I think that, you know what, I think that's an okay place to call it for tonight. We got the next day set up. We I got some other stuff going on. Try and get back into action next session. All right. Thank you all for playing, as always. Let's go ahead and do some Stars and Wishes on a little bit more of a low-key session today. Right to left. Eli.
Yay, awkward Hey Son and Pashmina talk was very just fun. And also fun to walk in on. Pashmina and Zoran are pretty easy to, well, everybody's easy to build off of. Although I struggle a bit as Hey-san sometimes. Anyway, very fun session, of course. I was happy I got to do the smoking thing. That made me happy because I thought that would be funny. But either way, I had fun today. Not much to say.
Nice.
Wishes. Wishes just involve Cole. Could I actually do some scheming with you after the
Oh, for sure.
call's over?
Oh,
What?
excellent.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Matt. Stars and Wishes.
Stars. I liked listening to everybody get up to their own stuff today.
Likewise.
I'm interested. I feel like, as with any time where I kind of go a while without acting, I kind of like mentally check out a bit. So I'm happy. I'm excited to go and listen back and like catch everything that I kind of missed. But everything that that sounds bad. But everything that I heard, which was most of it, I really enjoyed. I am excited that Star today, tiny mini scheme with Caroline. That was really good.
That was funny.
Yeah,
That was
honestly, the whole like parcel system, incredible Star.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like everybody got a note that just shifts fucking everything on its axis. And that's exciting. Wish. Sky Pirates. Sky Pirates?
Sky Pirates.
Sky Pirates. I know that's not what's happening, but it is what I want. And another wish, I'm just so deeply curious to see how all of the collective mistakes we are making as a group are going to compile into a giant shit show, because that's really where it feels like it's, and I'm excited.
Excellent. Me, Stars. I love a session where I can kind of sit back and listen, more than narrate. I know being a little more self-driven in kind of a more drama and intrigue focused episode can be kind of hard, but I think you all did really good, and I really like hearing you all have agency and motivation and do your own little things. It's great. Not little things, big things. It's the best part. It's the best part in my opinion. All of the actual D&D stuff is just a vehicle for more drama, really. Wishes. Looking forward to doing maybe some more direct drama. I don't know, making some threats, doing some making things happen, you know. I love giving people. I'll also Star. I like the notes. I like writing notes for everyone. I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of a high effort prep thing, but it usually pays off. It's fun. But yeah, wishes. Looking forward to doing some more adventure-y stuff. Hopefully soon in the future. Caroline. Stars and Warshes.
Stars, I definitely have to agree. The postal system is really fun. I've always been a player where, like, if I get a note, like, just, like, secretly only I know, I love that. Because I'm just like, ooh, I can play around with this. I also want to pop off where Matt's comment earlier, just like, oh, we all got notes that, like, add, like, flip things on its head. Mine super wasn't. Which I think is really funny.
Mine was just really
like,
sweet,
hi,
honestly.
I miss you. I hope you're well. That's it. So I'm like, yep.
Mine is maybe
Oh, I thought you would have
but
gone like
not
hate
enough
mail
to-
or something from your fiance.
Yeah.
Oh my
Very
God.
funny. That would be very funny, but also I don't know if that's even possible. If it is, love that. Here for it. But it was not from her. So I like that. I like the notes. I know they are very like high effort because you have to write them, but I eat that shit up.
It's good. It always pays off.
Really
People
hard.
love it.
Eat it up.
High popularity.
Star. Just the Astior stuff. I think that was really cool. Just kind of like learning a lot more into it.
Yeah.
It was very interesting. I can't not say the star of just all that awkward stuff between Zoran and Pashmina. I can't not put that as a star. So, yeah. Wishes. I'm very excited to see how that pans out. If it pans out. Wishes, I'm excited to see what that airship is about, because I have no idea. And wishes, yeah, getting back to Althra eventually for this whole annexation stuff. I think that'll be really fun, because I also have plans for Althra.
Schemes.
Scheming.
Plotting.
So, thank you.
Yeah. Alright. Hananan. Stars and Wishes.
Stars. That whole session. It's just good stuff. Learning things. Good conversations. Good. Yes. Good. This was a session where it was fun to be Pashmina specifically. Oh. Wishes. I keep playing D&D, but we came to a good stopping point, so it's good that we stop it. Oh, and you keep playing.
I keep accidentally, whenever we have a social session, I feel like I always have that session take the place over just like one day. It just keeps happening.
Yeah.
Which I think is very funny.
It's kind of just like the natural, like how D&D just like time progression seems to work. Like it just kind of makes sense.
As opposed to the part where we spent 3 sessions on one day in the tower.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the D&D time
It was a
is
very
smoothly
long
wobbly.
day, though.
Yeah. I feel like I do have a hard time like speeding time up sometimes, because I feel like it's I just always want things to be happening, you know? But it's good. I'm looking forward to more session.
Yeah.
Oh,
also stars. I love a session that means that I have stuff to do in between sessions, because now I have to figure out what the fuck to say to Tanya. So I'll be crafting that later.
Sick. Everyone gets 500 experience. Zoran and Loka, you both get 400 experience each, because of Loka's thing.
Like, in addition?
Correct.
Say less.
I think that's all my housekeeping for today. I'll try and do some scheduling. I might need to do some more heavy prep between sessions, so it might be a couple weeks. Mostly because I want to actually get that map done, because it's becoming more necessary to actually have a referenceable map of Rackentha. Unrelated. Spooky season is coming up. October in particular. And I was wondering if we would be interested. I have an RPG, a horror RPG, that is made for one-shots called Dread. where instead of rolling dice, you pull blocks out of a Jenga tower, and if it falls over, you die.
Oh.
Is like the main pitch of that game. It's a fun little like one night horror RPG. And I was wondering if folks would be interested in maybe like getting together in Meat Space to do a horror RPG thing, or just get together in Meat Space in general to have like a little hangout sometime in October.
Yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
me, at least,
I
yes.
would love it. Yeah.
Sick. I will try and get that scheduled earlier rather than later, because I know my October is probably going to be pretty full of stuff, because it is the
Yeah.
best month. And also just like, because I
And
know
you've got that trip.
meeting up in Meat Space is a little difficult sometimes. So, sick. I'll try and get that on the books as soon as we can. Yeah, thank you all for playing again. I'm looking forward to playing more. Feel free to message me secrets or whatnot. I may or may not respond tonight. But please keep in contact. I will probably continue to scheme.
You gotcha.
Alright, thanks all.
All right.